Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And a good evening, hockey friends, and welcome inside Memorial Gardens for tonight's OHL matchup between the visiting Peterborough Petes and the North Bay Battalion. I am your host, Derek Lindemann, joined tonight by Lyndon Holtkamp for the pregame show as you are watching Battalion Hockey here on the front line. Now, let's hear from our pregame sponsor.
The pregame show is brought to you by La Herda Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit LaHerdaImports.com for more details.
While the North Bay Battalion hold a 3-0 record against the Peterborough Petes this year as they look to sweep the season series, but a very important 2 points for both of these teams. First off, for the North Bay Battalion, currently 4 points ahead of the Barrie Colts in the Central Division, and right now it's the Mississauga Steelheads and the Peterborough Petes deadlocked for that 4th playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Lyndon, exciting game here tonight, a good goaltending matchup, and a strong Peterborough Petes team that really bulked up at the deadline.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned that those last 3 meetings, North Bay winning all 3 of them. 3 has been the lucky number for them, scoring 3 goals in each of those matchups. But we also see, like you mentioned, the Peterborough Petes loading up at the deadline, picking up some really big names in Brendan Othman, Owen Beck, and really building a strong team to make a push for the playoffs.
And the North Bay Battalion coming off a big victory Sunday as they defeated the London Knights 4-0, and that extended their winning streak to 6 games. In that time, only giving up 3 goals against. Goaltending seems to be a solid part of the North Bay Battalion game this year.
Yeah, it really has. We saw Dom DiVincentis named OHL Goaltender of the Week for a 2nd straight week this week. And you mentioned those really strong performances with shutouts, 2 shutouts in each of the last 5 for Charlie Robertson and Dom DiVincentis.
Well, let's get right to it and talk about our players to watch as they are brought to you tonight by Mike the Financial Advisor.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike the Financial Advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
For the Peterborough Petes, we're going to look at Owen Beck. Got some time up in the NHL playing for the Montreal Canadiens. Was one of those players that the Petes did acquire at the trade deadline. And weird enough, it was from the Mississauga Steelheads.
Yeah, it was. We saw him earlier this year in North Bay a number of times playing with those Mississauga Steelheads, and other hockey fans have seen him playing with Team Canada at the World Juniors. And since coming to Peterborough, he's got 18 points in 24 games, including 5 goals and 13 assists, bringing him up to a total of 54 points on the year.
And for the North Bay Battalion, a long-awaited return. Justin Ertel coming back into the lineup after missing 8 weeks with that hand injury, and exciting to see him back in the lineup. He brings along 13 goals in 41 games that he's played this year.
Yeah, a really important part of this battalion lineup. You mentioned that missing a long stretch there, and he's a really gritty player, fighting in the corners, doing a lot for this battalion team. And he's a really big guy to have back in time for the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought just before he got injured, he was starting to really adjust well to the OHL game after playing last year in the NCAA with Cornell, making that fine adjustment and really starting to feel at home here at Memorial Gardens. One of the most loved spots to play, and we heard Wednesday, probably the loudest crowd that we've had here in Memorial Gardens, just under 3,500 fans. It's going to be another good crowd here on hand tonight, and it's just that. The Peterborough Petes will be in town looking to creep up the secure home ice advantage in the first round, but North Bay doesn't want anything to do with that, and these fans want to help push North Bay to a 7th consecutive victory.
Yeah, North Bay been playing real hot as of lately and can't come at a better time heading into the playoffs. We saw the Barrie Colts putting on a rush there, a bit of a late push to catch North Bay for that Central Division. North Bay holding that 4-point difference, including with Barrie's loss last night. And North Bay is looking for a big win to keep that gap.
Yeah, so with that loss last night, the North Bay Battalion needs 6 more points to clinch second and the Central Division. They have 5 games remaining, including this one, to do so. 4 of those 5 games are home ice, as after tonight, Sunday afternoon, they'll host the Sudbury Wolves. Then on Sunday, they'll take on the Hamilton Bulldogs before a but a back-to-back game to end out the season, as they will be on the road on Saturday, the 25th. They'll be in Niagara to take on the Ice Dogs before returning home and concluding the season on the 26th against those Mississauga Steelheads. So basically, the North Bay Battalion have the Central Division in their palm. They have to do the work to finish it.
Yes, they do, and quite an interesting mix of teams they play down the stretch here. You mentioned teams like Mississauga, Hamilton, Peterborough that are fighting for those middle spots, that home ice advantage in that 4th spot in the Eastern Conference. And then North Bay throwing in and getting a bit of an easy one in Niagara, but Sudbury too fighting in that 6-7 spot for the key positioning in the playoffs. Yeah,
Sudbury Wolves did clinch a playoff spot last night with their win against the Sioux Greyhounds. A quiet night in the OHL tonight, as this is the only game on tap, but it does have that importance. And let's take a look at the lineups tonight, because as we talked about earlier, Justin Ertel making the return to the lineup, but absent from the lineup will be Matvey Petrov. Not really certain what's going on with Petrov. Just he is scratched from the lineup. Wakely will be back in after that short illness, so we'll still see the regular out, as we're still going to be without Tanias Mathern, Jacob Turian, Braden Turley, Matvey Petrov, and Brett Bouchard are your scratches tonight for the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, it's important to get Ertel back. Petrov, you never know what happens with the guy. He could just have the flu or something, or getting a day off as we head into the playoffs here. So you hope it's nothing serious and that he'll just be back for Sunday's game. And
really no big scratches for the Peterborough Petes. They will be without Sean Spearing, Easton Rye, Zach Lewis, and Zach Dubois from the Peterborough Petes. Goaltending matchup. This is probably one of the best matchups we're going to see here on Memorial Gardens Ice. We got the number 1 goaltender in Dom DeVincentis, and basically the number 2 goaltender in all the categories in Michael Simpson for the Peterborough Petes. Really, the only category that Simpson is ahead of DeVincentis is shutouts. Simpson with 1 more than Dom DeVincentis, who got that shutout in the victory over the London Knights. So let's start with the Peterborough Petes. Michael Simpson, coming in, playing in 47 games this year with an extended record of 24-18, 2-2. a .267 goals against average, a .914 save percentage, and 5 shutouts. So that goals against and save percentage, second in the OHL.
Yeah, we've seen it all year. The Dom DiVincentis here in North Bay, solid goaltender. You can't ask for much better than the best in the OHL. So Michael Simpson putting up a tough combat for DiVincentis at the other end, and I had a chance to see him on top of their visit here to North Bay. I saw the Pete's play in Oshawa around Christmas time, and he didn't get tested too much against the Generals, but he played solid in that game, really controlling those rebounds and making good, solid, clean saves.
And getting the start for the Battalion, Dom DiVincentis making his 47th appearance for the Troops, coming in with an extended record of 34, 9-2 with a .236 goals against average, a .918 save percentage, 4 shutouts. On Sunday, I thought that was probably the best 60 minutes of hockey I've seen from Dom DiVincentis. The focus he had, the tracking of the puck was top-notch, and he made 27 saves for that shutout.
Yeah, DiVincentis having a bit of a curse on the shutout there for a while, finally getting a couple to go here, and it's important to see from your goaltender when you're playing a team like they did on Sunday, the London Knights, one of the best in the OHL, that you're going to have to bring your game up a notch, and that's exactly what he did. So hopefully you can see that again tonight, where DiVincentis can bring his already stellar game up another notch to play against this really strong Pete's team.
We did see a little bit of an episode at the end of that London Knights game involving 3 different incidences at the same time. Nothing came out of it for the North Bay end. The only suspension came out was for Logan Mailloux, picking up 1-game suspension amongst that crowd. So really nothing happened in that. We are without Jacob Therrien again. His energy that he brings, his feistiness and willingness just to take on any player that he goes up against. We'll get into those corners, get that puck out. We'll be without him, but not really sure again why, as we don't really get told why players are absent, so we'll have to wait and see as Sarge is on the ice. Made that jump today.
Unfortunately for Therrien, like you mentioned, and I really like that too, that he brings that edge to this team despite being a rookie and not the biggest guy on the ice, that he brings that edge and that ability to take on anyone, guys considerably bigger than him. But I think Justin Ertl has some of those same kind of qualities, that he can fight for those pucks and battle, and so it might just be a case of musical chairs a little bit for Jacob Therrien.
So talking about musical chairs, the Battalion will dress 11 forwards, 7D, as that top line tonight will be Ertel, Jackson, and Wakely. And then Bloom, Zito, and McDonald, with Arnsby between Tarasevic and Van Steensel, and then Procession and Romani on that fourth line as they rotate the third player through it. And 7 defense dressed as Kennedy and Brusowski will be back in the lineup tonight for the Troops.
Yeah, we mentioned that much earlier in the year with the Battalion at the trade deadline, picking up a lot of those depth guys, that you see them being able, because you have so many guys at such a high skill level, being able to really mix and match and play with your lines can be really important going into the playoffs, playing stronger defensive teams, that you can mix something up and find something that works really well.
And I really like the way that Ryan Ullahan has been dealing with his 7 defensemen, been able to get them a lot of consistency out there on the ice. That's where you need your comfortable level with, is on your defensive pairings to make sure that they can play with each other, especially communicate well in the defensive zone. We talk a lot about communication and Nelson being so good at it, but with 70, it's going to be interesting to see how he moves all 7 of them in and out of the lineup tonight.
Yeah, a little bit awkward with that odd man out, but you mentioned that communication being so key, and having guys like Nelson Christopoulos that have been here for a couple of years, that know the system, that really know what they're doing out there. And the Battalion, just such a strong defensive team that I think even if they miss a step here and there, they turn out perfectly fine.
Yeah, we talked about pregame when we were off air about Paul Christopoulos, plus 48 in the OHL this season. That is a top of the plus-minus standings. 7 clear of Matthew Maggio. Maggio did record his 50th goal this season last year, but that just seems to be where Paul Christopoulos really seems to thrive right now, is his defensive coverage in his own zone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that massive plus minus and end up on the score sheet for the points, he still ends up part of that play.
And it's really interesting how a lot of the talk in the last week in the NHL, especially where on the Toronto Maple Leafs, is Sheldon Keefe has been talking about the possibility of using that 11-7 with his forward defense combination in the playoffs, and it's just interesting. This might be something of the future that we get used to here, as Ulan has a lot in the last month played 11 forward, 7D, knowing the importance of defensive zone coverage, and you got 7 quality D. It's really hard to sit any of those D outs.
Yeah, exactly. Having lots of those quality guys and just being able to flip through those guys, give somebody an extra rest when that 7th defenseman's out there, and to be able to mix and match your forwards as well, because you have one less forward, but it lets you shuffle in that extra guy. If somebody's feeling hot or not having such a great game, an extra shift with the puck might be beneficial to them.
Yeah, you can kind of get a feel for who's really clicking up on your forward group and maybe get them an extra shift or two and double shifting them in that fourth line spot. When you got players like Procession or Romani that create a lot of energy, if you put somebody that's really going at that moment, might get a little bit of extra offensive push on that fourth line.
Yeah, exactly. And Procession, another rookie of this North Bay team, we really love to see him having a great year as a rookie and being able to generate energy and generate those chances, and then you can throw him in with an experienced guy on the wing.
Yeah, really exciting as we look towards the end of the regular season as the North Bay Battalion make a push for their second consecutive Central Division title. As we're moments away from puck drop, we're all set up here in the booth. When we return, Courtney Kenny will join Lyndon for the first period action as we are tonight watching. It is the Pete's Battalion here on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you inside North Bay Memorial Gardens for tonight's contest as the Peterborough Petes travel to North Bay to take on the Battalion. And I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Lyndon Hokamp. And Lyndon, it should promise to be a interesting game as there's a couple of former World Junior players on the Peterborough Petes, and Owen Beck and Brandon Othman. So you know this team's going to be able to score, but it's also a battle of the two best goaltenders in the league.
Oh, yeah. Really a complete matchup with the Peterborough offense backed up by those guys, Owen Beck and Othman, and those two big goaltenders of DiVincentis and Simpson. It should be a great game.
Real quick before puck drop, just to pass it along, as our U18 Trappers are in the Sioux this weekend for a playoff tournament. They're already 1-0 on the day with a 6-0 win for them over the Sudbury U16 Nickel Capitals. They're up 6-2 right now against the New Lisker Cubs late. Basically, as Chris Dawson so eloquently put it in his text, punching their tickets to the semifinals already. So, good weekend for the Trappers, and, you know, of course, moving on to the OHFs, and hopefully get a chance to get some looks by some scouts. But, speaking of scouts, there's a few scouts in attendance here tonight. I saw Colorado Avalanche jackets, so not very far off from maybe watching his Avs beat the Leafs last night in a shootout. So, a good game there as we're underway here at the Gardens. As the Battalion get the puck down into the Pete's zone, Arnsby chases after it. Peterborough in their road white and maroon jerseys are going left to right. The Battalion in their home greens are going right to left. Cam Govro also out on the ice, former Battalion, was traded for Braden Hislop as Beck gets it over to Hayes. And, of course, Josh Bloom to Saginaw. Then he was quickly flipped a few games later to Peterborough before the deadline. So we saw him here once with the Spirit. Now we see him here again with the Petes. And he's put on 3 OHL jerseys this season. Van Steensel through the neutral zone, flips the puck in to the Pete's zone. And that's going to be White that picks up the puck there. This is a new-look Peterborough team compared to how the Battalion saw them the last time they met, which was a 3-0 victory for the troops back in December. Bloom in the neutral zone. Over to McDonald. Although it's a bit of a new-look team as well for the Petes with the Battalion. Zito with possession. Nearly lost the handle on it. Flipped the puck back. That's going to be Mayer that goes after it. And now it's White who tried to clear the puck. Now Zito gets it in deep from Bloom. Bloom in alone out front to McDonald. And what a save by Simpson. They score! It's immediately waved off by the referee on a high stick, and I think he's got the Battalion there. Kyle McDonald did have his stick up high, but the troops looking dangerous early.
Yeah, looking dangerous on that chance there. Bad turnover by the Petes, and springs the Battalion on a 2-on-1. And in tight there, Josh Bloom trying to get that pass out. And Simpson made the first save, and just seeing the replay here, as McDonald kind of skated into it. But yeah, like you said, referee right there on the call, bringing it back outside the zone.
They are looking at it briefly, but I don't think it's going to be a long one for sure. I think it's probably going to be overturned. If not, it would be Kyle McDonald's 32nd of the season. Him and Dallin Wakely, the lone members of the 30 goal club right now for the troops. Shameless little plug, Dallin Wakely on the podcast this week as well. And he talks about being the first 30 goal scorer for the Battalion. As now it's 7-2 for the U18 Trappers. And no goal is the call on the ice, as if it was ever in doubt. Justin Ertl getting his first bit of frozen water under his blades here in this game as well, after being gone for a couple of weeks. Well, more than a couple, 8 weeks, missing 22 games. Out front for Stillman, the former Sudbury Wolf, can't get the shot away, and now it's up to Wakely. Wakely, who hails from Port Hope, basically calls Peterborough a hometown team. But he loves playing these Petes. Scores a goal, it feels like, every single time. Up to Ertl, leaves it for Wakely. Wakely leaves it for Jackson. Jackson on the near side wall. Gets it in for Wakely. Wakely flips it over for Ertl. Ertl looking for a point. Loses it to Stillman. And now the Petes go the other way. That's Othman. New York Rangers pick with the puck along with Owen Beck. Montreal Canadiens prospect who's gotten into some NHL games in this one. Cam Govro. You know he's going to want to put up some goals here. As that one's knocked on net by Hayes. Knocked aside. Govro knocks it back in. Govro not really a point-producing defenseman. But if he's going to pick a point up, you know today's the game that he wants it for sure. to Winslow. Winslow chips it up for Wakely. Can't get it past the blue line, though. And Wakely finally flips it out for Van Steensel. Van Steensel down to the Pete's zone, waiting for reinforcements. Stops up, gets Procession. Procession can't get the pass off, though. And now it's Romani out on the goal line. Loses the handle on it. Procession comes in, picks it up, takes the shot, misses the net. And it hops up and goes over the glass for a stoppage of play here. Just under 3 minutes gone in this period.
Both teams looking real dangerous early here. We saw the Battalion chance there, and then Precision with a good second look. And down at the other end, then Pete's with a couple of good chances on DiVincentis.
Lots of double shifts here this evening as well, as the fourth line is playing without a left winger. Just Procession and Romani. They are playing with 7 defensemen, though, as Kennedy is in the lineup, and Bruskowski's back out to Bloom, takes the shot, and that one hit a body and fluttered over the net. Kennedy, the aforementioned Kennedy, throws the puck in behind the net, chases after it. Now the Petes can't quite get out of their zone until they do. Robertson flips it into the troop zone. Kennedy tried to flip it out, and now it's out front for Avon, and Avon got a bouncing puck where he was able to corral that one on net, and DiVincentis stopped that one pretty easily.
Robertson carrying that one out of his own backwards there. Also leading the Petes in scoring, despite all of the big names the Petes picked up. He's got 85 points on the year, including 35 goals and 50 assists. So look out for him out there, too.
Tucker Robertson, good pickup there in the later rounds, too, by the Seattle Kraken in the NHL draft. Back to White at the point. White walks the line, gets around Wakely, gets in deep and takes the shot on net. DiVincentis covers that one up. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I really think, and probably part of this is because of bias, because they took a lot of OHL guys. I really think the Seattle Kraken had a sneaky good draft this year where they took Shane Wright, they took Tucker Robertson, they took, Ty Nelson, they took Kyle Jackson. So, I mean, a lot of OHL names, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but a lot of great talent as well. Wakely into the Peterborough zone. As Ertl just asserts himself there, taking a run. And now they're going to fight. Stillman sucker punching him. Ertl never even got his gloves off, and Stillman took him to the ice. Welcome back, Justin Ertl. Probably not the way that the Battalion bench likes to see that. And Ertl, coming back from a wrist and hand injury, is laying on the ice. He was just absolutely suckered to the ground, and you got to think something might come of that for Chase Stillman.
Yeah, Stillman's gloves came off real quick there after Ertl just leveled a Pete right in the face-off circle. And yeah, unfortunately, not much of a fight to be had, as they got wrapped up pretty quick. But that was welcome back, Justin Ertl.
So it looks like 2 minutes are going on the board against the Petes. Nothing yet against the Battalion, but Ertl is in the box.
Yeah, they'll give Stillman the instigator for that one.
It's funny, though, because Bouchard got into a fight last game, didn't really throw any punches, so it wasn't deemed a fight. Ertl didn't really throw any punches and take his gloves off either, so it'll be interesting to see if they call this one a fight or roughing for Ertl as well, but nothing's up on the board, so it's no coincidentals here.
Yeah, that'll be a referee's decision, I guess, just whoever's the head official in the game making that call versus the roughing versus the fight.
Real quick, the Petes have a pretty good penalty kill, 80%. That's 5th in the league. They've also scored 11 shorthanded goals. The Battalion on the power play are 8th in the league at 22.5% as the Battalion win it back to Nelson. Nelson to McDonald. McDonald takes the shot. Simpson turns that one aside. So Ertl is getting 5 minutes for fighting. Stillman 2 for instigating and 5 for fighting in a 10-minute misconduct for Chase Stillman. And Ertl just 5 for fighting. Goes cross ice for Romani. We'll have to see how this power play fares without Matvey Petrov in the lineup. He should be back hopefully for Sunday's tilt against the Wolves as the troops chase down the Central Division crown. Now down to Nelson in his own zone. We're just under 40 seconds gone in this power play. Othman is in the box, serving the 2 minutes. Sent in deep for Nelson. Nelson behind the net. Goes up for Romani. Romani, one of the hotter Battalion of late. Can't hold the puck and is flipped down the ice, and DiVincentis plays the puck up quickly for Jackson. Jackson into the Pete zone. Skates in. Goes behind the net. Tried to flip it out front. And it is shot on net, but just wide. Simpson did get a stick on it to stop its trajectory a little bit. Now the puck's sent down. with 45 seconds left on the power play. Bloom picks it up from his goaltender, DiVincentis.
Bit of a tricky one there. That last shot, just dribbling into Simpson, who had to play it away.
Winslow's pass attempt across the ice missed its target, and now the Battalion start out again in their own zone with Bloom. Bloom up to Van Steensel, flips it back in for Bloom. Bloom chasing after it, goes back to the point for Zito. Zito skates the puck in, nearly lost it. Out front for Wakely, and Wakely was going to hit his skates, but it missed him, and everyone will have to clear out of the Pete zone. Bloom up to Zito. Zito, as the puck crossed the line apparently, he tried to throw it in, and now that'll do it here for the man advantage for the Battalion as it's back into their own zone. Winslow goes behind the net to Christopoulos. Othman on the ice, so 5-on-5 is what we're at. Hislop looking to go back to his D partner Christopoulos, who just throws it back to Hislop. Hislop playing keep away from Othman. And now it's up to Procession. Procession couldn't get it very far into the zone. And now the Petes go out on the attack. Beck. You have to think playing some NHL games this year will do some wonders for his confidence as well as being on the World Junior team. Procession in for Romani. Romani in tight. Can't get a shot away. He falls down. And now the Petes have the puck trying to get out of their zone again. And that's going to be Hayes, the former Bulldog. As DiVincentis plays the puck up around the boards to the near side, Tarasevic goes for a skate. Stops up, sends it in for Zito. Zito in the Pete zone, back for Romani. Romani with the shot. And that one's blocked in front of Simpson's net, so it never got on target. Now into Zito on the half wall. Zito loses it. And the Petes get possession with it with Othman. Othman flips it up, looking for his man. That was Lockhart. And now it's knocked in for Hislop to pick up. Hislop to Christopoulos. Christopoulos back to Hislop. Seen a lot of this pair early in this game. Now they turn it around, give it back to Zito. Zito through the neutral zone, flips the puck up ice, picks it back up, over to McDonald. McDonald off his skates, lost it. Zito levels a man. And now the puck is back into the Battalion zone where Lockhart was chasing after it. But Lucan got to it first, looking up for McDonald. And that's going to miss everyone and go for icing. And with 12:49 left, still 0-0 here in this first period.
I'm just amazed at the speed of this game through the first 7 minutes. At both ends of the ice, both teams getting good chances, but not in a calm, controlled way, in a lot of very fluid hockey. It's been great to watch.
Zito loses the face-off, but the Battalion get the puck back quickly off a shot that was blocked. It's Zito, flips the puck down the ice. And now the Petes have possession once again in their own zone. It will be offside if the Battalion touch it. And the puck flipped down to the neutral zone now. Page in quickly. That's Perdeller who had the puck. Now it's Bloom. Bloom gains the red line, gains the Pete zone as well. Bloom in quickly for Jackson, and that one's going to count. Kyle Jackson puts the troops up 1-0.
Almost harmless looking from the Petes with numbers back. And Bloom just slides it underneath to Jackson in the slot and just beats Simpson straight up. 1-0 Battalion.
That's Kyle Jackson's 31st of the season, so I misspoke earlier when I said there was 2 Battalion in the 30-goal scorer club. There's 3, and they're on pace to have 5, depending on Petrov, who currently sits at 26, and Bloom, who sits at 28, which is about what the Battalion had last year, I believe, 5 or at least 4 in the 30-goal scorer club, which is funny because the offense feels like it hasn't clicked as much as it did last year as when it ran through Mitch Russell and Brandon Coe, which is saying something about a team that's second in the OHL right now. Battalion back in, Van Steensel tried to chip in for Tarasevic off the side of the net, and a big save there by Simpson. The Battalion did this against London where they scored 2 goals in 28 seconds. Trying to do the same a little bit here because when the Battalion get rolling, they're hard to stop.
Oh yeah, really trying to set the tone. That first goal, a big one. Battalion 31-0-1 with their when scoring the first goal. I believe I was here for that one loss, unfortunately. But they, really setting the tone. You mentioned like Sunday, getting getting too quickly against London.
Yeah, and they never looked back after that, winning that game 4-0 against a juggernaut Knights team. Robertson into the Battalion zone, takes a shot. DiVincentis gloves that one down. So out of the two goaltenders, Simpson's the first one to blink, as he's basically trailed DiVincentis in almost every statistical category almost all year long, but fantastic goalie still for the Petes.
Yeah, still been top-notch for them, and unfortunately, just the Battalion getting a couple of tricky chances on him early.
Shot from the point just goes wide. Secondary chance from Robertson's turned aside by DiVincentis. And now Winslow in behind his own net. Winslow looking up ice for Wakely. Couldn't get that pass for him. And now it's Avon in deep. Takes the shot from a sharp angle. And DiVincentis will just pounce on that one. And we'll get another face-off here with 11:21 remaining.
Yeah, Pete's looking a little scary on that last little exchange with a couple of Robertson getting a good second chance look at one. But I think when you get two solid goalies at both ends, it'll be those second chance opportunities that'll make a difference. Because you can't beat them on an easy, clean shot. They're too good for that.
Yeah, these goalies are pretty good for sure. Back to White at the point, goes cross ice quickly. And that was Mayer who sent the puck in and around the end boards. Falling to the ice off a hit was Beck from Van Steensel as the two number 16 players exchanged numbers. Hislop up the ice for Van Steensel. Van Steensel gets run in by Beck again, but Van Steensel stayed on his feet. Up the ice for Hayes. Hayes was a Battalion killer in that series against the Bulldogs as he gets a chance from the slot. Turned aside by DiVincentis up to Van Steensel. Quickly up ice for Christopoulos. Christopoulos over to Tarasevic. Tarasevic throws the puck on net, turned aside by Simpson, and the puck floats there in the air before it goes back behind the net. Tarasevic tried to throw it out front, couldn't get a clean pass out front, however. Now the Petes pick it back up with Mayer. Mayer to White. White flips the puck out of his own zone, gets it up for North Bay's Chase Lefebvre, former French River Rapid in the NOJHL and former AAA Trapper as well, as he now has the puck. Skates it in, takes the shot. It's off the end wall in the far side corner. And now the Battalion once again with possession. Hislop to Nelson. Nelson goes up ice quickly. McDonald got a stick on it and tipped it out of play. So 9:58 left in this period. That'll take us to our mid-period break here. And we'll be back on the other side of this with Derek Lindemann. At some point. We'll get there. On the front line.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
Well, because it's rare, we'll have to point it out here with a rare Ben Long mishap on the broadcast, but we'll give it to him. He has been fantastic all year long for us. Somebody who's also been fantastic for us all year long, now he's going to get an even bigger ego, is Derek Lindemann down between the benches. Derek, what's the word at ice level?
Yeah, it's a real weird feel to this game tonight so far. Both teams started out a little flat. I thought that fight kind of woke up the North Bay Battalion. Peterborough just doesn't seem to have that physical quality about them to generate some space for themselves. I think if North Bay can keep playing that physical pace, they'll wear down the Peterborough Petes and create a lot more scoring opportunity. And what a shot by Jackson, putting that bouncy puck ahead. A good first 10 minutes for the North Bay Battalion. They got to keep it up for the rest of the next 50 minutes, though.
Okay, Derek, do you think Tom Martineau's going to give us his prediction here this game, considering he went 0 for 2 in last week's game?
So, Tom, what's your prediction after going 0 for 2 last week? 4-2. He's not going with a goal scorer, but he's going with a score tonight. 4-2 Battalion. So you can hear that right here first. Tom Martineau. 4-2 Battalion.
Thank you very much, Derek. The Battalion have 3 more goals left in them then by that prediction. And Tom's been pretty bang on all year except for last game, so we got to rub that one in a little bit more. As we're back underway here at the Gardens, Ty Nelson twisting and turning in his own zone. Flip the puck up, and Van Steensel gets it in deep for Govro to chase after. Govro Had his former teammate Romani closing in on him as a shot from the point. Gets back in there from Kennedy. Romani loses the puck in the near side corner, and now the Petes have possession. Peterborough in their own zone. Flips the puck down the ice. That was Page. And now onto the near side wall. Van Steensel with some speed through the neutral zone. Gains the neutral zone and flips the puck in quickly. And that'll be McCoy who plays the puck up the ice for Lockhart. Lockhart with a long shoot-in. Stopped by DiVincentis. Now it's Winslow battling for it with Lockhart. Trying to get the puck behind his net. He does. Comes away free in his own zone. And Avery Winslow quickly out for Jackson, the goal scorer. Jackson in for Wakely. Wakely lost the handle on it but regained it. Looks to go cross ice. As he said, he's looking for a little bit more assists on the podcast. Jackson quickly over for Ertl off the crossbar and out of play. And Justin Ertl, that would have been what the doctor ordered there if he scored a goal in his return to the lineup here.
It would. Jackson having himself a good game. The goal earlier, Derek mentioning off that bouncing puck, but getting involved in that one there too. What a play by Wakely, losing the puck, skating around by the just inside the blue line, picking it back up with his skates to still try to get a chance out of it.
Good chance there for Dallin Wakely for sure. As we said, he's looking for more assists. He did admit, though, he's been putting up more assists lately than he has all year long, and the OHL owes him about another 5 is what he said. So we'll have to see if they eventually award him some. As he said, you can dispute points. You have to get the coaches with the video, and they have to send it. He says usually the process takes about a week. Why am I telling you this? Go listen to the podcast yourself. Hayes with the puck takes a hit there by Arnsby. Arnsby, who was a demolisher of all things London on Sunday, out there on the ice here today. Through the neutral zone. Gets it back for Tarasevich. That'll be called on the offside, though, however.
Yeah, that just ending up a half step offside there. I'd have to agree with Derek's mid-period analysis there that Peterborough kind of lacking the physical element of their game. They've got some big names, some flashy guys in Hoffman, Beck, but we saw them in a bit of a slump earlier this year, right around that trade deadline, and just haven't been able to pick that up.
Looked like they were really loading up. Bloom in for McDonald. Back to Bloom. Bloom takes the shot. Simpson with the save. Battalion looking ever more dangerous here as the period goes on. Lucan flips the puck back in. Lefebvre battling with Bloom. Bloom couldn't get his pass to go out front. And now it's whacked back in by Zito for Bloom. Lefebvre gets the puck away from him, though, and sends it in for his defenseman, Mayer. And now the puck down into the neutral zone quickly. Pete's with possession in the Battalion zone. Lose it to Lucan, though. Lucan also apparently sneaky good at the shootout, according to Wakely and equipment manager Mackenzie Campbell. To Bloom. Bloom goes cross ice for McDonald. McDonald lined up the shot but couldn't get it to go as he fanned on it. And now the Petes with Avon leading the way. Avon in behind the net, throws the puck out to nobody in particular, and it's out now into the neutral zone for the Petes. That was Lockhart who had it. Now the puck's thrown back on net, knocked out. Zito knocks his man down. That was Avon. Avon throws it back in for Robertson. Robertson gets hit there, but it's up to Ertl to Wakely. Wakely to Zito. Goes cross ice looking for Ertl. Ertl sends the puck back in. And now the Petes just try to flip it out of their zone. Bruskowski with it. Up ice quickly for Ertl. Ertl at the blue line. Walks the puck in. Lines it up with Jackson. Looking back for Ertl. Ertl couldn't get the shot away, though. And now it's Beck. Goes cross ice there for Othman. Back in for Beck. Takes the shot. What a save by DiVincentis. My goodness. Dom DiVincentis with a heck of a save here with 6 minutes left in this first period. Puck shot back in. Misses the net. Othman back to Hayes. And Dom gloves that one down. DiVincentis putting on a goaltending clinic here in this first period. And if you're the Petes, you have to like your chances with the 2 World Junior players in Othman and Beck coming down the ice on a 2-on-1.
Yeah, 3-on-1 there. Hayes getting involved right at the end. And DiVincentis sliding across to take away that one. and then making 2 more spectacular saves on the ensuing opportunities, and the North Bay faithful showing their gratitude to DeVincentis for that one.
Well, he's the most single-season winningest goaltender for the Battalion now. He's putting up numbers we haven't ever seen in a Battalion uniform, at least in North Bay. This kid is something remarkable, and to think there were goaltenders taken in rounds before him in the 2020 OHL priority selection. He was taken in the 6th round. Back up ice quickly. Tarasevic takes the sharp angle shot out front for Van Steensel, and he fanned on that shot, and it was blocked. Simpson came across to try and stop that one, but the puck never got to him. Beck takes the shot off the blocker of DeVincentis, and it's up for Van Steensel. Now Tarasevic gains the red line and flips the puck into the Pete zone. Simpson stops it before the no-play zone and gives the puck quickly to his defenseman Gavin White. Puck flipped down to the Battalion zone. Lefebvre got a piece of it, though, so there will be no icing against the Petes. And now he battles for the puck in behind the Battalion net. Hislop looks up the ice for Erdl. Couldn't get that pass to him, and now it's Romani going cross ice for Christopoulos. Christopoulos up for Erdl. Erdl leaves it for Romani. Romani tried to make a move to get into the Pete zone, but lost the handle on it. Now Jackson flips that one in for Romani. Romani on the near side half wall, battling for it, gets it to Erdl. Erdl throws it out front, and then a Pete's player blows a tire. That's Lefebvre, and gives it away to Jackson. Jackson tried the toe drag, couldn't get that quite on net. And then Romani tried to flip it back in, but now the Petes have possession and gain the red line and throw it into the Battalion zone. DeVincentis out to play the puck. Flips it around his net for his buddy Ty Nelson. Nelson, cross ice for McDonald. Now it's in for Zito. Zito fanned on his shot, took a second one, and Simpson stops that one with 4:17 left in the first. Shots on goal, however, are all Pete's, 12-9, for the Battalion lead where it matters most, 1-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Zito doing a little dance there, faking the shot a couple of times before just, like you said, just fanning on the final opportunity for Simpson to collect. But yeah, Pete's definitely looking dangerous. Battalion not out of the woods yet. Still have to play another strong 40 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Finish out this first period, though, strong first. Winslow with the puck in the neutral zone, flips it in and around behind his net. And now the Petes once again with possession. And it's flipped back in. Robertson loses it, trying to battle with Winslow. Winslow has it on the near corner. Battling for it with Winslow. And Lucan gets it to Bloom. Bloom. Cross ice for Zito. But he can't get it, and now is Winslow. Flips the puck up and out. And Zito with some speed has the puck through the neutral zone. Leaves it for McDonald. McDonald drags the puck in and then lost it. And the Petes are on the counterattack now with Lockhart. Lockhart goes cross ice. Far side now is Christopoulos. Christopoulos circles around in his own zone. Goes back over for Hislop. Hislop over to Tarasevic. Tarasevic gains the zone. Puts it back in for Arnsby. Arnsby with the shot. That one saved by Simpson. Christopoulos with the shot from the slot. And that one just missed the net. Arnsby near side for Tarasevic. Tarasevic battling for it in the corner. Arnsby there with support. Looking around for it. No, the Petes come away with it. As Van Steensel tried to get around to the other side to get a chance on that one. And now it's Beck into the Battalion zone over for Hayes. Hayes cross ice for Beck, and that one will count for the Petes. As there's Owen Beck and Hayes teaming up for a goal there.
Yeah, just getting the better of the Battalion there. A couple of really clean passes between Beck and Hayes. Hayes coming off a 4-point night against Mississauga on Tuesday, and staying hot here with tying the game up.
Owen Beck's 23rd of the season. As Hayes, once again, as you mentioned, coming off a 4-point night, staying hot here. DeVincentis has been hot as well, as both him and Charlie Robertson had 2 shutouts over the last 5 games, only allowing 1 goal in those 5 games, and over this winning streak of 6 games, only allowing 3 goals. So we'll have to see how that stands up here. But history is on the Battalion side as they are 31-0-1 when scoring the first goal of the game. As now, we're tied, though, with 2.5 minutes remaining in the period. Battling for it on the near side. Nelson comes away with it, gets it up to Erdl. Erdl goes cross ice, couldn't get his pass Up ice, though, and Govro tried to knock that one in. Now Lucan knocking his guy down. Now Lucan and Govro throwing a bit of punches at each other as Govro's helmet comes off, and gloves go everywhere. It seems like the Petes are very quick to lose their gloves, but the Battalion players are taking a little bit longer to drop their gloves here, but those are former teammates Lucan and Govro going at it there pretty good there.
Yeah, Page's gloves coming off there, and Derek Lindemann, I'm guessing, glad to be back in the press box for the first intermission, as he's not between the benches in that altercation. I'm
going to guess so, as Tom Martineau nearly got taken to school on that one. So Lucan will be shown the gate here for a penalty. 2:18 remaining. He's going to get 2 minutes.
And Stillman in the box for the Petes again.
Well, he's still in the box from his first.
The 10-minute. So is it just Lucan being given the penalty here, it looks like? No Pete in the box. So
I don't know. Those gloves looked awfully maroon when they were on the ice. So
there was a Pete skating around with no gloves on. So
I know back in the day it used to be an automatic 5 minutes if you dropped the gloves.
Yeah.
I guess not anymore. So 2:18, the Battalion will have to kill off a penalty here. The Petes have a pretty good power play as well, ranked 9th in the league at 21.8%. The Battalion have the number 1 ranked penalty kill, though, at 87.1%. They've also scored 14 shorthanded goals. So the Battalion are pretty dangerous when they're shorthanded as well. Christopoulos in the corner, just digs up just freezes the puck against the wall. 10 seconds off the power play. Robertson to Othman. Now it's Lockhart on the near side wall. In deep for Avon. Avon back to the point for Mayer. To Othman on the far side. Othman throws the puck in deep. That's Robertson with a pass back to Mayer. Over to Othman. Othman throws the puck in deep, and a good touch there by the Petes. But DiVincenzo stopped that one as the Battalion clear the puck out. Van Steensel tried to spring himself. Couldn't get it past Othman, though. And we're down to 1:14 left on the power play. Avon to Mayer. Mayer throws the puck on net. Stopped by DiVincenzo. Avon with it. Back to Mayer. To Lockhart. Lockhart to Mayer at the point. Takes the shot on net. Stopped and put in by Robertson through the 5-hole of DiVincenzo on the power play.
Funny enough, I was just about to comment about how the Pete's power play didn't look like it was doing much. And then that cross-seam pass that almost went in. And then this one where just a regular shot on net, and the rebound comes right to a Pete's stick. Unfortunately for the Battalion, not much you can do there, and they'll be down 2-1 here late in the first.
Well, that will be Robertson's 36th goal of the season, so he's having a fantastic year, as we touched on earlier. DiVincenzo, after having 2 shutouts over the last 4 games and only allowing 1 goal as well, now allowing 2 in this one. So we'll have to see if the Battalion can clamp down here as well, or if this is just the game where things change for them. Although, with Barrie losing to Mississauga in a shootout, you have to think the Battalion want to strike here for another 2 points. As unfortunately for them, Mississauga allowed Barrie to get a point in that game, in a high-scoring game. Hayes behind the net, tried to flip the puck out front, and couldn't get his pass to his man. And now McDonald throws it out, and Bloom goes for the hit on Smith. Battling for the puck now, Zito. Zito tried to flip it into the zone. It's been all Pete since the Battalion scored the first goal. However, Zito out front. His pass bounces over some sticks, and it's out to the neutral zone for Winslow. 30 seconds remain in this period. 2-1 Pete's lead. 16-10 are the shots on goal. Battling in the Pete's zone. The Battalion can't keep possession in it, and Avon throws the puck down the ice. Avon with a partial break throws the puck on net, and DiVincenzo gloves that one down, making a big stop there as Winslow was beat in the foot race by J.R. Avon.
You mentioned that being all Pete since that goal. Almost since the Battalion almost scored the second goal right after that. But the Pete's just looking more dangerous on the offensive zone, coming off those rushes, really generating some opportunities. That DiVincenzo has been pretty all right stopping so far, getting beat on the first one. and the second one with a bit of an unlucky bounce to the right to the stick of Robertson.
Hislop with the puck in his own zone. 10 seconds remaining here in this period. The Battalion have one last chance in them. Ertl, puck up quickly for Romani. Romani tries to get the puck in, does, and carries it in, takes the shot. Simpson stops that one, and that'll do it here for our first period of action. The Peterborough Petes lead 2-1 after 20 minutes of play, and we get a bit of a dust-up as well after the whistle. 17-10 also the shots in favor of the Petes after the first period of play. So the Battalion will go back to the dressing room with some work to do. And Lyndon, how are we feeling after that first period?
The Battalion were looking really good up to that first goal, but unfortunately haven't had much in the offensive category since then, so they'll need to pick that up in the second.
Here's hoping that they're able to change things a little bit and not come out how they ended that period and continue with their winning ways here in the second and third period. As for the first intermission show, we'll have Derek Lindemann rejoin with Lyndon. Again, he's Lyndon, I'm Courtney. And as always, keep your eye on the front line.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, and keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where it's the Peterborough Petes leading the North Bay Battalion by a score of 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Tonight's first period scoring summary and out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery and Patio. Follow them on their social media, and you can find out what's happening around Average Joe's and what's happening coming up at the restaurant. Coming up on March 30th, wine and yoga night at Average Joe's. There's limited spots. For $25, you can get a spot for wine and yoga night. Give them a call at the number right here on your screen and reserve your spot today. While Lyndon, let's take a rundown of that first period. Kyle Jackson opened up the scoring for the North Bay Battalion at 7:43, his 31st of this season from Josh Bloom. Then Owen Beck tied things up with his 23rd of the season from Avery Hayes and Samuel Mayer at 17:07. And finally, on the power play, Tucker Robertson put the Petes up with his 36th goal of the season from Mayer and Lockhart, coming at 18:43. Taking a look at the penalties in that first period, started off with a fight between Chase Stillman and Justin Ertel. Stillman picking up the extra 2 for the instigator in that excursion. And then the only other penalty went to Alexander Lukin for roughing at 17:42. Battalion were 0 for 1 on the power play. Meanwhile, the Peach did score on their only opportunity in that first period. Shots on goal through for 1 period of play in favor of the Peach as they outshot the Battalion 17-10 in that first period. No other games on tap tonight in the OHL, so let's take a quick rundown of the Canadian teams and how they're doing in the NHL tonight. Not so good of a start in Ottawa as the Senators trail the Colorado Avalanche 2-0 through 1 period of play. And late in the first period, you might want to close your ears, Ben Long, if you're listening, as the Florida Panthers lead the Montreal Canadiens 7-3 with 2 minutes left in the first period of play. Elsewhere later tonight, an 8 o'clock start in Winnipeg as the Bruins are there to take on the Jets. And then in Edmonton, a 9 o'clock puck drop as the Dallas Stars travel to take on the Oilers. Calgary's in Vegas to take on the Knights tonight. They start at 10 o'clock. And a 10 o'clock puck drop in Arizona as the Canucks will play the Coyotes later tonight. Well, Lyndon, we thought it was a good start for the North Bay Battalion. They score once in that first half, and then they kind of lost track of the play and allowed the Peterborough Petes really to take over in the second half of that period.
Yeah, losing track is exactly the phrase. Almost about that mid-period break where the Battalion just losing their edge, it seems, in the offensive end, and the Peterborough Petes able to capitalize at the other end.
Yeah, it was a good start with Kyle Jackson getting them on the score sheet, his 31st of the season, but then it went sour as Owen Beck, our player to watch for the Peterborough Petes, got the Petes back on the score sheet, and then Tucker Robertson put the Petes up ahead. It really hasn't been anything we've really seen in the last month or so on this 6-game winning streak. We haven't really seen how the Battalion have bounced back after trailing in the first period. Most times we've seen them coming out ahead.
Yeah, exactly. We're used to seeing this team go up early and then kind of put it in cruise control as they sail on to win these games. And so it'll be a test here, especially as we get closer into the playoffs. It'll be an important test to see how they fare when they're down 2-1 after 20 minutes.
And when scoring the first goal, the North Bay Battalions have not had a loss in regular time as they're 31-0-1 after scoring the first goal. So they find themselves on the reverse end this time. They do get the first goal, but they trail 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. I didn't think Peterborough was all that much of a physical team. We did see that fight, Chase Stillman taking exception to that hit by Ertel and getting that instigator penalty, but they really are a much more offensive, skill-based team than what we've seen here in this building in some time.
Yeah, definitely. I know we were talking about the opposite of this with Owen Sound and those Western Conference teams usually being the ones that are a little more free-flowing and the Eastern Conference being a little tougher. Not the case with this Pete's team. I remember seeing that in that Oshawa game around Christmas time too, that they're a little flashy and rely on that big rush up the ice, the 2-on-1, the 3-on-1, the 3-on-2 to generate those chances. Whereas, yeah, the Battalion really trying to get set up defensively and spring that for themselves haven't been able to cope with that rush.
I know it's cliche to say that the Battalion have to get pucks in deep and get physical down low, but I think that's going to be key, is if you can get pucks in deep and lay the body on their defensemen, you could wear them down and create some scoring chances off the forecheck, something that we really didn't see in that second half of that first period.
Yeah, definitely. I think those couple of chances they had in the Peterborough Pete's end came off of a big hit either on the half wall or down low that sort of made a bad pass that turned into a turnover, or at least giving the puck back to the Battalion at center ice, allowing them to bring up another chance. But yeah, so like you said, a bit of a cliche, but get pucks deep, play our game, seems to be the message for the Battalion.
Yeah, it certainly does look like the Battalion could be a little more physical on the forecheck. I want to bring in our producer, Ben Long. North Bay Battalion giving up 17 shots in that first period. We really haven't seen that many shots go towards a goaltender in some time for the North Bay Battalion. DeVincentis does give up 2 goals on 17 shots, but I don't think he got much help from his defenders. at least 3 quality high-end saves I've seen out of DiVincentis after that 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he definitely stopped at least 3 that I could think of where I would have not blamed him at all for letting them in, where it's not, this could easily be a 5-1 game, and I'd be like, yeah, Dom's not to blame for the score. The Petes, with their talented offense, is just they take advantage of the chances they have, right? They had some good plays, and the guys are just there and ready to put the puck in when they have an open net. And I think North Bay has to start applying that same type of pressure down in Peterborough's end, where they're going to get pucks and they're going to put them in when they get the chance.
And I really think it's that neutral zone where the Petes have been dominating and generating speed on in through that neutral zone and attacking with speed. We've seen 1 goal off the rush, and then the second goal on that power play, they were allowed to set up. Got some good opportunity, got a player right in front of DiVincentis' face, banged in a rebound as the Battalion weren't there to clear their man, and it's just that you got to win that neutral zone, control the neutral zone, control the speed. You want to be that team that generates your speed, foot speed going through that neutral zone, moving that puck east-west, something I thought the Battalion got away from in that second half of the period.
Yeah, normally they have a very good transition game at getting from their end into the other zone and having control when they get there. They haven't been doing so well that today, but the Petes have been doing that really well, of getting the puck in and maintaining control of it so that they can make a play as opposed to trying to chase it and hope that they can get it.
Well, Lyndon, it didn't take long for a player to watch Justin Ertel get involved in the play. Delivers a big hit, pinching in on the blue line. Chase Stillman comes in to fight him. Really, Ertel didn't get much time to prepare himself for that fight as he was the lower end of that scrum. It didn't really last long. And then later on in the period, after serving that 5 minutes for fighting, he rings one off the crossbar as he has that lethal shot. I really like the way Ertel has returned tonight.
Oh, definitely. You can't ask for much more from him. To come in, that's exactly the style of game we're used to seeing, where he jumped in and absolutely leveled a Pete right off the first shift. And then, like you said, but also being that guy to hang around and ring one off the crossbar and almost score a goal is also the guy we're used to seeing. So good to see that he doesn't need any time to kind of get back up to speed. And maybe, they were talking about him being maybe ready for last weekend, but not using him until this weekend, and maybe that's what that is, that they just gave him that time in practice to really get up to speed before they threw him back in.
So, Ben, we've seen the Battalion power play quite often here in the building. Matvey Vetrov not here tonight. How much is that hurting that power play? We only got to see it once in the first period, but they did look out of sync.
So, because so much of the puck touches go through Petrov, I think he'll throw them off a little bit. But in terms of firepower, they're such a deep team. I don't think if they had to go for a while without Petrov, I think they would fall into place without him. I mean, obviously losing the shot like that and the vision that he has, that's a loss for any team. But I think they would do fine without him if they had to have practice of doing a power play without him.
Yeah, I really think the big part that I find them missing on is using his speed on the entry and making easy entry something that a lot of the other guys don't really do, is it rely on Petrov carrying that puck in to the offensive zone to set things up.
Yeah, the one big thing that they kind of get a little bit of an advantage with Petrov being gone, with Nelson and Petrov, they're both right-hand shots, so they don't have that easy back and forth where either of them can take a one-timer. When it's Nelson McDonald, who's a left-handed shot, they have that easier two-way threat right off the top there. But they have to get into the offensive zone and have control of the puck for that to mean anything.
Right, and that's where I feel that they're missing Petrov. Well, Lyndon, coming out in the second period, if you're Ryan Houlihan, down 1-0, how are you firing up your troops, and what little adjustments are you making?
Yeah, like we were talking before, you got to get that edge back. You got to be able, you almost got to hope you get your first line out, like the first shift back in the second period, a guy like Liam Arnsby just runs a guy through the boards or something, just to get that fire back under your team and really get them going for the second period. And in terms of little adjustments, we've seen it already a little bit with the lines getting mixed up. You're looking out there, I see guys that are not on our whiteboard playing together. And so if you're Coach Houlihan, you might try a little bit of that, maybe put some guys back together that work well. Thinking one of my favorite lines of Battalion, Jackson Bloom Ertl, that was quite a threat earlier this year, to get maybe guys like that back together and see if they can get something to click just to get you back into this game.
Well, with 30 seconds left, Ben, quick thought on Rob Wilson's team, the Petes, in their first period.
The first half they came out awfully flat, I think, but once they turned it around a little bit, they've really just shown a lot of control of the puck, and we see the talent that we all knew they had coming into the game. They're just playing like that.
Well, we've checked all the boxes up here for that first intermission. The X's and O's have been drawn up here in the booth. When we return, Courtney Kenny will rejoin with the call of the second period as you are watching Pete's Battalion on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens, and the Battalion have, for what feels like, for the very first time, might just be like a little hill, but it feels like almost like a mountain with the way that first period ended, especially because the Battalion don't usually find themselves the last few games down in a deficit. It's 2-1 for the Petes. I'm Courtney Kenny. He's Lyndon Hokamp.
Yeah, Courtney, like you said, a little bit of an unfamiliar territory for the Battalion here as we get ready to go for the second period. See what they can do to bounce back from this.
We'll have to see for sure. The Battalion in their home greens are going left to right in this period, and the Petes in their road whites and maroon as the Battalion get a quick shot off from Van Steensel, turned aside by Simpson. The Petes in their road white and maroon are going right to left in this middle frame. Christopoulos tried to knock the puck in. We'll also have to see if any of the rough stuff carries over. There's a lot of rough stuff in that London Knights game on Sunday. As now that's going to be McCoy who had the puck. Gives it to Othman. Othman threads the needle with Tarasevic. Gives it back to McCoy. Throws the puck up ice quickly for Beck. Owen Beck, one of the goal scorers here tonight for the Petes. Kyle Jackson, the lone goal scorer for the Troops. As the puck is thrown on net off the stick of Divinchentis and out of play.
Almost accidentally dangerous there from the Petes. Just slinging one across the front of Divinchentis, who tips it up into the mesh. And I do have to say, even as an Oshawa Generals fan, the Pete's maroon always looks good.
Yeah, but you know what? I like the colors. They had better jerseys a couple of years ago. I don't like the practice jersey stripes down the side. They had like the cream-colored whites with the shoulder pads, and then their dark jerseys were dark maroon. Perfect. And then they went back to these ones. They only had those jerseys for a couple of years before they went back to these, and it's like, you guys knocked it out of the park. Go back to that. Not saying, like, the maroon is really crisp, though. I will give you that. Battalion through the neutral zone to Zito. Back to McDonald. McDonald looking cross ice for Bloom. Bloom couldn't get a shot away. Puck kicked on net, back to Zito. And you have to think at one point, one of these two goalies is going to shut the game down in Simpson or DiVincentis. Both have allowed a combined 3 goals, although DiVincentis has allowed 2. Back out for Mayer. To White. White sends that puck in for Avon. And Robertson tried to get a quick shot away, couldn't. White takes a second chance, and that's off Nelson's shin pad. And the puck thrown cross ice and out of play with just under 2 minutes gone here in the second period.
Yeah, the Pete's looking dangerous again early on here, getting around the back of the net there and making some room for themselves to get a couple of pucks out, just squirting out in front. And luckily for the Battalion, not making it to the tape of a Pete's stick.
In for Bruskowski. Bruskowski off the faceoff, gives it away. Chance out front for Stillman. And that one hits a body and goes down to the Pete zone. Peterborough continuing their pressure here from that first period. Not good news if you're the Battalion, but now it's Wakely in on a 2-on-1. Tried to feed the pass across, but Govro with the good shin pad there stops that one from going through. Bruskowski with a shot. Simpson saw that one all the way. And now Govro and Wakely get into it. Govro getting a stick high up on Wakely. Nothing likely going to be called on that one, as the former teammates getting into it a little bit. Cam Govro brought a lot of grit to this Battalion team before the trade. And, of course, he got into it in training camp in 2021 with Brandon Coe, and then had to have a fight with Liam Arnsby because of the big hits. So he's not afraid to hit some of these Battalion players just because they're former teammates.
No, definitely a gritty type of player and useful for this Pete's lineup, but hate to see him not in a Battalion green.
Hey, I'll take Hislop in Bloom any day. No offense, Cam. It's a pretty good trade in my books.
Yeah,
I'd
say that's worked out pretty well for the Battalion.
Especially because, really, realistically, other than the draft picks, which essentially at the end of the day are magic beans, and that's what I like to call draft picks.
Yeah.
Even though they gave up draft picks, now all Saginaw really kept for the future, for the now, is Nick Sema. They let Cam Govro go. Hislop back for Tarasevic, and Hislop can play his overage year next year. So could Bloom, but Bloom's already signed to an NHL deal with Vancouver. Christopoulos in, tries to get a shot away, couldn't. Tried to flip it back out. And now it's to Van Steensel. Van Steensel takes his man to the ice. And the Petes are going the other way with Othman. Othman into the neutral zone. Throws it on net. Just under 3 minutes gone here in this second period. 2-1. Battalion lead. Tarasevic now. Quickly up ice for Van Steensel, who flips it in for Arnsby to chase after. Arnsby behind Simpson's net, goes for a skate. Back to the point for Hislop. Hislop back for Arnsby. Arnsby couldn't hold on to that pass. Now he has it in the slot, takes the shot. Liam Arnsby with a good chance there for the Battalion. Turned aside by Simpson. And now the puck, as we're going to get a delayed ice or offside. However, everyone gets out of the Pete zone. And now Christopoulos regains the zone. Goes in for Van Steensel, who's getting ready to go for a change. So he had to stay on, or else it would have been too many men. Nelson up the ice quickly for Jackson. Jackson into the offensive zone. Looks out front for Procession. Procession, what a save by Simpson to keep that one out. Ethan Procession on a nice feed by Kyle Jackson, alone in the slot. My goodness. And now there's a trip there, and you have to call that one. I mean, if you don't call that one, at some point you got to think, okay, the referees are making money on the Peterborough Petes tonight.
Yeah, no, that's, I think if you looked up a trip in the dictionary, that's the picture that would be there. But what a shift from the Battalion, and boy, did they need that. Ethan Precision with a couple of fantastic looks in the slot earlier in this game, and finally getting a hold of one, and I'm pretty sure it hit Michael Simpson in the mask, because I don't think Simpson knew where it was, but what a shift for them, and to go on the power play is big.
Hey, you know what? If Jesse Pollock from Bar Down can score a goal on Michael Simpson, albeit Michael Simpson last year, anybody can score a goal on Michael Simpson. Nah, I wouldn't want to try. He's a pretty good goaltender in his own right. Jackson, cross ice for Arnsby. McDonald, I thought he was a full step in offside. Linesmen say play on. Jackson for Arnsby. Arnsby flings that one around. 1.5 minutes left on the power play as McCoy sits in the box. Arnsby in behind the net, battling for it. As there's Arnsby and Govro, who have fought each other in the past. to Nelson at the point. Nelson carries the puck in. Stops up on the near far side wall. Back to McDonald. Over for Jackson. Jackson. His pass is picked off and sent down the ice. With a minute left on the man advantage, DiVincentis lives it behind his net for Nelson. Nelson stops up to get away from Hayes, who was on him. Jackson now into the zone. Leaves it for McDonald. McDonald carries the puck in, takes the shot. Rebound was there. And now bounces to the point for Wakely. Wakely flips the puck back in for McDonald. McDonald goes across ice for Ertl. Back for Wakely. Wakely to the point for Nelson. Takes the shot off of Ertl. And Simpson's going to pick that one up and stop it there with a quick glove. 39 seconds remaining on the man advantage. The Battalion power play, the second unit, looking much stronger than the first unit so far on this power play.
Yeah, that was a really good look. A couple of really good looks there on the power play. Jackson just not able to get a hold of that rebound. And unfortunately, that bit of an unlucky bounce going with the puck off of the referee, going to Simpson for the face-off here.
Out to Bloom. Bloom skates the puck in. Throws it in for Wakely. Wakely's off his skate and out to the neutral zone. 25 seconds remaining on this power play. Battalion have to make hay while the sun is up. Winslow to Zito. Zito into the offensive zone. Carries the puck in. Leaves it up for Wakely. Wakely back to Winslow. Winslow for Ertl with a shot. And right into the glove of Simpson. And I tell you right now, if the Battalion are going to have struggles in the playoffs and ultimately not make the OHL finals, it's the power play, I think, that's going to sink them.
Unfortunately, I'd agree with that. We saw it earlier in the year when the power play was really struggling, that they got set up, the puck was moving pretty well, but they just can't find that shot. And seeing it here again, there, Zito coming crashing into the zone, but just can't get a good shot off.
Bloom with a wild shot there as he whacked at it, missed the net. Now Ertl near side tried to find Zito, and Zito kicked that one right out of play. So we'll get another stoppage here. This is back to 5-on-5 with 14:06 left in the second period. 2-1 Pete's lead.
And unfortunately for the Battalion, even at 2 minutes on the power play, you still trail this game 2-1 with just over 14 minutes to play. The good thing for the Battalion, though, is they're getting that energy back. They've had a few good chances, a few good looks, without the Petes getting one on them.
Another good chance there. Van Steensel takes a shot, blocked out front, however, by the Petes. And now they just try to clear it out of their zone, and clear it out they do. Nelson up to Van Steensel quickly. Van Steensel leaves it for Nelson. Throws it back in for Van Steensel on the far side corner. Battling for possession now. Gets it back to the point for Nelson and hops over his stick. So he'll have to chase the puck back down into his own end. 13.5 minutes remain in this second period. Nelson takes the puck end-to-end, leaves it off for Van Steensel. Takes a shot, looks for the tip by Procession. And Procession's getting some good looks here in the second period. Just missed the net. Avon through the neutral zone. Leaves it for Othman. And that one's going to be deemed offside. As Brendan Othman, lots of danger there for the Pete's player.
Yeah, just going offside there. And if I'm a betting man, which I have been from time to time, my money's on Ethan Procession to score a goal tonight, because he has had some fantastic looks and just not quite getting the full puck on a couple of them.
You know who can't resist a good bet? Guy between the benches right now, Derek Lindemann. We'll have to ask him his options here, as Lockhart nearly had a chance there, but it was stopped up by Winslow. Now Zito into the Pete's zone for Bloom. Bloom tried to kick it to his stick. Couldn't get that pass to work, though, as Winslow throws it back in for Bloom. Cross ice for Bruskowski, takes the shot off a stick, and it's over the net. Zito battling for the puck in the near side corner. Gets it back to the point for Winslow. Winslow with the shot, and that one's blocked. And now the Petes quickly have a mini 2-on-1 here, but Lockhart goes cross ice. His pass cannot find Robertson, and now the Battalion had a chance with McDonald in behind the defense. Couldn't get a chance, though. Now McDonald with a shot from the slot well wide of the net, as he basically just turned around and fired on net, but missed entirely. Didn't even get a rebound chance.
That was some chaotic hockey there as the Battalion get a good chance at the Pete's end. Pete's get it right out quick and just can't quite string a couple of passes together. Robertson blows a tire and the Battalion come back the other way. And that is, nothing comes of it, really.
Things change, but they also stay the same at the same time, as Robertson always seems to have to play for this team. As now out front for Beck, another chance turned aside by Divinchendis. Stopped back in by Zanetti. And now Arnsby gets it up for Tarasevic, as this team used to employ the services of Nick Robertson. And now they have Tucker Robertson. No relation, though, I believe. Both draft picks, though. One in the Leafs system. As now up front for Arnsby, takes the shot, and the captain scores! Liam Arnsby ties the game at 2.
There you go. The Battalion finally get one back here with another strong first half of the period. And it's Liam Arnsby, the captain, who finds the back of the net on just a scramble down low and finds Arnsby open in the slot, puts it home. That's big for the Battalion to tie this game back up.
Arnsby's 12th of the year on a great give and go there as he just snuck it in past Simpson. Simpson got over there in time, but it just was like a hair behind it. And that just shows you the difference. Here is now Jackson trying to walk in. Gets it over quickly to Wakely, and Ertl with a chance. This Battalion team, I tell you, when they score a goal, they get rolling, and they're tough to stop. Mealy now into the Battalion zone. Throws the puck in deep there. That's Page going after it. And now Jackson with it. Throws the puck up ice. Ertl just out of his reach. And now it's Mealy who had the puck go between his legs, and Wakely picks it up. Over to Kennedy. Kennedy stops up, throws the puck out front for Lucan. And Lucan goes up ice for Ertl. Ertl for Jackson. To Wakely. Back up front for Jackson. Takes the shot and misses the net just a hair wide. Wakely throws the puck out front to Kennedy. Kennedy throws the puck back in behind the net for Ertl to chase after. Nelson pinching, gets to it first though. Now Wakely has it, gives it back to Nelson. Nelson back to Kennedy. Kennedy froze up a little bit, and now Nelson has to throw the puck up, and Othman's going to have a chance, but Divinchendis out to play the puck, nearly taking off the head of the referee as well as he did that, as now Wakely brings the puck in offside. And as I was going to say, I watched a golf documentary, great documentary on Netflix called Full Swing, where they say the difference between the 100th golfer in the world and the best golfer is just a few things mechanically. When you see a goalie as good as Simpson or as good as Divinchendis, who rarely gets beat cleanly, something like that Arnsby is, their timing's just off by just a hair. And that's exactly what happened to Simpson on that goal.
Yeah, exactly. He does everything right, but Arnsby just that little bit better on that occasion happens to beat him. But what a bad giveaway by Kennedy on that last play there.
I can't believe that Michael Simpson's undrafted as an 03. Wild.
Yeah.
Could come back as an overager next year for the Petes. And what an overager he would be. Ruskowski misplays the puck, and now going the other way as the Petes with some speed. Has a quick chance there. Stopped by Divinchendis. He looked behind him, and the puck was well over the net. Lockhart with the shot on that one. 10:09 remaining here in the second period, all tied up at 2.
Yeah, that speed of the Petes showing again from Lockhart, who is second in the team in scoring right now with 74 points. Again, another guy. You think of the big names these Petes have, and Lockhart's the guy second in scoring, but just streaking down the ice after Bruskowski makes a mistake. And that's what the Battalion have to clean up if they're going to win this game.
Smith with the shot behind the net. Bounces out front. Pete's almost employing some Battalion tactics there here at this one, as they kick the puck out front off a chance from Divinchendis. And now Arnsby with the possession in his own zone, but the Petes quickly get it back. Hayes goes cross ice with a good look there as the puck sat there. And that was McCoy who had the good chance there for the Petes, and had Stillman sitting in the blue paint but couldn't get a stick on it. Christopoulos We'll hear from Derek Lindemann likely at the next break as well, as we're past the 10-minute mark. Unless, of course, a goal or a penalty happens. Christopoulos to McDonald. McDonald flips the puck up ice quickly for Zito. Zito knocked down from behind. No call coming there. Smith rolls over him as well. A bit of a blow up there by a bunch of players. To Winslow. To Christopoulos. Christopoulos looking for Bloom just out of his reach. And Bloom now battling with Smith along the far side corner. Zito with the puck out for McDonald, takes the shot! Ba-da-da-da-da! We're loving that Kyle McDonald goal here as he puts the troops up 3-2.
Kyle McDonald, that shot of his is so powerful. And he just walks in just inside the Tim Hortons logo there and just fires a wrist shot past Simpson.
Well, he said, hey, if you're going to take away my goal in the first period, I'll just go ahead and score for real. That's his 32nd of the season. And I said, we'll hear from Derek Lindemann at the next break. Unless a goal or penalty happens, much happier it was a goal for the big guys in green, of course. As that's going to do it now, we're going to get to our mid-period break as the puck's knocked out of play here. So we'll take a quick break on the front line. The Battalion are up 3-2, and we'll hear from Derek on the other side of this.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni First. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens, which is a much different atmosphere here after two quick goals by the North Bay Battalion, 3-2. And Derek Lindemann getting all the great content down there between the benches. I saw you on the Arnsby goal leaning down and getting a good shot, which I'm sure we'll see on social media at some point. Derek, how's the vibe between the benches now the Battalion has scored two quick ones?
It's just what we thought it would be. I know we questioned in the first intermission how the Battalion would respond after giving up that two goals. They've come out like a different team here in this second period, capitalizing twice to get those tying and the go-ahead goal. And now it's interesting to see how the Battalion will finish out. They got to play strong this last 8:46 and take this lead into the dressing room, Courtney.
Absolutely, and Tom Martineau said 4-2. Well, the Petes can't score again. The Battalion need one more as they come back into play. We'll hear from Derek further on as the Battalion with another chance. Can't get it past Simpson as the Battalion are flying here in the second period. And they are definitely rolling for sure. Robertson into the Battalion zone. Goes cross ice. Quick chance there by Govro. Turned aside by DiVincentis. Ertl in through the neutral zone. Threw the puck across the ice. That didn't reach his intended target. And now Avon with it. Tried to toe drag it. Couldn't get the puck to cooperate. And now it's up ice quickly for Romani. Romani trying to shovel the puck in past his man. That's Mayer with Govro. And now Kennedy battling with Stillman. Kennedy wins the battle, gets it to Van Stiesel. Now Tarasevic with a chance, takes a shot. Knocked aside by Simpson. Stillman with the puck in his own zone through the neutral zone now. Gains the Battalion. In deep, goes out front, tried to get the puck to bounce on DiVincentis. He nearly got a piece of it, but it went wide. Mealy throws the puck back in deep. Arnsby picks it up. Looks up ice for Nelson. Nelson gains the red line, throws it to Tarasevic. Tarasevic goes cross ice. His pass finds Arnsby, who takes a shot, turned aside by Simpson. And Kennedy with a quick pinch. Almost got caught there by Othman. And he got a shot away, but now Othman has the puck and quickly gets it to Gavin White. White, the Stars prospect, loses it. And now Othman throws across ice and will get an offside call here as the Petes just went offside. 13 minutes gone on the dot in the second period, 7 minutes remaining. Shots on goal, 25-21, or 26 rather to 21 in favor of the Battalion.
Yeah, the Battalion coming out strong here in the second period. And I just want to say it was a fantastic defensive play by Lucan there on Robertson on the 3-on-2. Lucan just stepping up and taking away all angles from him and getting that puck to turn over and head back to the Pete's end.
Back underway here. McCoy with some speed. Good stick there by Hislop. Stops that one. And now it's Zito in his own zone battling for possession. But it's back to the point for Hayes. To Smith with a shot, and that one's tipped. And we're going to get a goal here by the Petes to tie up the game at 3. So Tom Martineau's wrong on that one. And that'll be Smith on the tip. Somehow it got in on net. And that's just his 3rd of the season.
Unfortunately for the Battalion, I think it hit a green jersey or stick on its way in, and just catching DiVincentis off guard, and as it flies into the top end of the net.
Don't like that one. As Derek said, the Battalion needs to finish off strongly here, and you give the Petes a gift like that one. Zanetti in his own zone. Throws the puck up ice. As now, getting a whole whack ton of things thrown in front of the broadcast booth. That's nice. Anything for us? Nah, I figured not. Zanetti throws the puck on net. Figures, hey, it worked for Smith. Why not for me? Zito through the neutral zone. Looks up ice. Finds McDonald on the bank in the zone. McDonald skates the puck around. Throws it over to Christopoulos. Christopoulos with the shot, tipped on net by Zito, or rather off net by Zito. And now Govro meets McDonald in the corner. Big collision there at the in between the benches, and now Paget tried to get the puck into the Battalion zone. It goes out of play. Right in front of Derek, though, was that collision. Lots of fans seem to love that one.
Yeah, McDonald throwing a huge hit down in the corner, too. And then Zito taking out his man. That's good to see from the Battalion after that first period where they gave up the goal and went a little flat. To see them just throwing the body around and making the game physical after giving up the goal.
Puck won back to the point for Mayer. He can't keep the puck in. And now, with some speed, Ertl will have a chance, but Simpson comes out and plays the puck right back out to the neutral zone. Petes have numbers going the other way, but can't get anything to happen from that one. Ertl up the ice quickly for Wakely. Wakely to Jackson. Jackson leaves it behind him for Winslow. Back in for Jackson. To Wakely with a quick chance, and Ertl tipped that one wide of the net. Back to Bruskowski. For Ertl. Out front for Jackson. Takes the shot, and that one's off a leg and goes wide. 5:10 remaining in the second period. And the funny thing about that hit that you mentioned with McDonald on Govro is right down in the corner is his general manager, Adam Dennis, the man that would have traded Govro. And Govro goes right up in the corner basically saying, hey, Denny, how's it going? And then McDonald says, no, that's not your guy anymore.
Yeah, that little meeting of the minds down there.
Yeah.
And, see what the Battalion can generate off this offensive zone drive.
McCoy throws the puck around behind his net for Stillman. Smith out there as well, the most recent goal scorer. Procession battling for it, loses the puck, but Romani comes in and picks up the loose puck to Nelson. Nelson cross ice to Lucan. Lucan goes back cross ice for Romani, who fans on the one-time attempt. And now Stillman gains possession and goes the other way with Othman. Back to Stillman. Puck thrown back down the ice. McCoy's going to pick that one up in his own zone. 4.5 minutes remain here in this second period. Stillman kicks the puck back into his own zone. And the puck is thrown over to nobody. But it's going to be Smith who gets to it first. Gets a tip from Stillman. And the puck is down into the Battalion zone. Lucan leaves it for Nelson. Goes up ice quickly for Tarasevich. Tarasevich throws the puck in. And now a good chance there by Arnsby. Knocks down Hayes. And the Battalion got possession momentarily with Tarasevich on the near side wall. Zanetti throws the puck cross ice. And the Battalion, that's his lob, threw his stick as he went to go whack at the puck and lost it, but no harm, no foul, as the puck is knocked out of play off his stick on the shot by the Petes.
Hislop getting away with one there, just losing the grip on his stick. And, getting the shot to go over the net. But never good at this end when Anthony Romani looks like me on a one-timer, just swinging and missing at everything.
Let alone on the one-timer. He looks like me in the batter's box in men's league baseball. swinging and missing. 6 straight at bats with a strikeout at one point last year. Man, this still kills me inside. Puck sent in around behind the net. Paget battling with Tarasevic. Tarasevic knocked down by Govro. And now the Petes have possession once again. Up the ice for Christopoulos. Christopoulos battling with Hayes, and Zito comes and picks up the loose puck. Zito throws the puck back in. Wakely on the near side wall. Throws it back in behind the net. Govro is going to be the first to that one. And he's just going to throw it back to the point for Christopoulos to pick up. Christopoulos moving in, takes the shot. It lands in front of Simpson. And he's just going to smother that one. And now a little bit more of a mix-up in front of the net there as the Battalion were digging away, looking for the rebound, which was there.
I was just saying, I saw the puck there for a second, even from up here.
Yeah.
So the puck was definitely there. But yeah, the couple of Battalion guys grabbing a Pete, perhaps looking for another dance partner, as we saw earlier in the game.
I'm going to get ready here on the broadcast side of the goal for Peterborough with the Battalion in the offensive zone. Jackson coming in for the draw with Robertson. Now Jackson shown the door, and Wakely couldn't win the draw, although Wakely is a center by trade. It's kind of been a bit of a jack of all trades though this season for the troops. Throws the puck in deep. It's going to be White who picks it up. He can't get very far with it though, as Ertl kept it in. Now Brskowski does the same on the blue line. Wakely battling with Robertson. Gets it in deep for Ertl. Ertl just out of sync slightly. Lost the handle on it, but it's back to Brskowski. Over to Winslow. Winslow to Wakely. Wakely with the shot, and that one's turned aside by Simpson. Back to Winslow. Out front again for Jackson. Brskowski keeps the puck in, throws that one in deep. Battalion with a lot of zone time here. Looking out front for Jackson. Couldn't get that pass to him as Robertson negated that one. And now the Petes gain the Battalion zone over to Avon. Avon with the shot. Just missed the corner. Now Bloom going one-on-one with Smith. Josh Bloom looking for help. Stops up. Throws the puck out front. And now Avon's going to have a chance, but Nelson with a good stick knocked that one aside. However, Avon with the puck in the Troops zone just throws that one in behind the net for Nelson to chase after. Nelson up ice for Lucan, who just throws that one in deep. Now McDonald battling for the puck, gets it back to Zito. Zito loses it to Stillman. With a minute and a half left, Stillman's on the prowl. Into the Troops zone, back to Bloom. Bloom throws the puck behind him and out of the zone. And Smith picks it up at the red line and throws it right back in. Lucan flips the puck out for Bloom to Zito. Zito throws a hit by the Pete's bench. Trying to shovel the puck out of the way, and now Othman just throws it into the Battalion zone with Lucan getting to it first. Lucan goes cross ice as he was looking for McDonald. Can't find that one, and the puck is thrown back in and out of play, so we'll get another stoppage here with 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining in the second period. All tied up at 3.
Yeah, all tied up is the key here. Battalion just taking the edge in shots, 28-23, but the thing I've been liking about this period more than the first is that physical domination from the North Bay Battalion. Just throwing hits all over the ice and hopefully just trying to wear down this Pete's team that doesn't really play that style of hockey.
Christopoulos. Cross ice for Hislop. Hislop throws the puck cross ice, and it's just knocked into the Pete's zone. Tarasevic with it. Trying to get to Van Steensel with a sharp angle shot. Now Christopoulos tries to throw it on net. Stopped by the Petes. And the Battalion trying to keep the puck in. Can't, however, as Hislop up the ice for Arnsby. Arnsby threw the puck cross ice. And then the Battalion got a chance and got the puck in deep. Zanetti with a big hit from Arnsby. And Zanetti's going to take his time getting up. And now Christopoulos gains the red line. Christopoulos skates the puck in, tried to take a shot. And that one, he fanned on that one as the puck rode off of his stick. Back for Beck as the Petes are judged offside. Owen Beck not a fan of that one. And then Hayes having some words with Hislop. Hislop not afraid to mix it up. Govro coming in. The two number 3s who were traded for each other earlier, exchanging some words as well, as this started originally with Hislop and Hayes. 13.8 seconds left on the clock. A minor dust up. Nothing too concerning, although if you have been following us, we've had a couple of instances where gloves have been on the ice.
Yeah, just want to mention, I saw that Liam Arnsby hit coming from a mile away. He just lined up, I believe it was Zanetti back in the corner there.
Yep.
And I think Zanetti saw it coming too and just dumped the puck away, but still got his bell rung pretty good.
Back for Winslow. Winslow throws the puck in behind the net to the Petes, and Simpson's just going to play the puck out and around. And with 2 seconds left on the clock, that's going to do it here for this second period. Shots on goal, 28-23 in favor of the Petes. It's a 3-3 hockey game as we get ready for the third period. And Lyndon, and we got to be feeling a little bit better after that first period with the response here in the second period.
Oh yeah, if I'm the North Bay Battalion, I played this whole second period with a lot of confidence, and I'm playing the third period with a lot of confidence.
Well, we'll see if confidence is the key here as we move into the third period. Of course, Derek Lindeman's going to rejoin the show on the intermission chat with Lyndon, and I'm Courtney Kenny. So as always, keep your eye on the front line.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindeman, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where we are deadlocked at 3 after 2 periods of play. The second period scoring summary and out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Follow them on social media so you can stay up to date on what's happening around the restaurant. Their next big event coming up March 30th, Wine and Yoga Night. Give them a call at the number on your screen so you can reserve your spot for a small fee of $25. You can join an evening of wine and yoga. Well, Battalion came back out in that second period as Arnsby got the game tied up with his 12th of the season at the 8:10 mark from Owen Van Steenso with the lone assist on that mark. And then Kyle McDonald put the Battalion back up on front with his 32nd of the year at the 11:10 mark from Pasquale Zito. And then Connor Smith with his 3rd goal of the season tied things back up for the Petes at 12:30. Hayes and Beck with the assists on that goal. One penalty to report in that second period, and that was Donovan McCoy going off for tripping at 3:53. Still, Battalion 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Meanwhile, the Petes did score on their lone opportunity in the first period. shots on goal through 2 periods. The Peterborough Petes, 6 shots for a total of 23. Battalion added 18 shots in that second period for a game total of 28. No games on the out-of-town scoreboard today as everyone else is having a night off. It was a busy Wednesday night in the OHL. Taking a look around the NHL this evening for your Canadian teams. Starting off in Ottawa, it's the Avalanche leading the Senators by a score of 4-2. 4 minutes left in the second period. Things not much better in Montreal or in Florida as the Panthers lead the Montreal Canadiens now 9-4. 5 minutes left in the second. Just getting underway. We're 15 minutes into the first in Winnipeg as the Boston Bruins lead the Jets 2-0. Later tonight, the Oilers host the Stars at 9 o'clock. The Vegas Golden Knights host the Calgary Flames. That is a 10 o'clock start, and also a 10 o'clock start in Arizona as the Coyotes will host the Canucks. Well, Lyndon, we were kind of wondering how the Battalion will respawn in the second period, and they came out firing on all cylinders, scoring 2 goals to get that 1-goal lead, but then they gave up 1 more in the second, and it's tied now 3-3 after 2.
Yeah, and Courtney and I mentioned it during that second period that with 2 really, really amazing goaltenders in net tonight, that it's just those little things that'll beat them. Arnsby's goal just beating Simpson by less than an inch, squeaking it by between his pad and the post, and DiVincentis getting beat on a unlucky tip bouncing off a Battalion's stick.
When we look back at the past between these two teams, sure, the Battalion are 3-0, but all of those victories came in the first half of the season before the trade deadline, as it was the Battalion winning the last game on December 3rd, a 3-0 victory, and the other 2 games were 3-1 scores. So all those coming back in October and December, so before the trade deadline. So a much different look for the Peterborough Petes in this second half of the season with the additions of Owen Beck, Othman, and Cam Govero, just to name a few for the Peterborough Petes.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about those guys that they added, that whole top line. Othman, Beck, and Hayes all traded from other teams to this Peterborough Petes lineup, and Hayes has been hot right now. We saw him with the assisting on the goal. Those of you familiar with the World Junior know the strengths of Owen Beck and Brendan Othman, and just that high-powered offense. We've seen the speed tonight, and the Battalion doing a pretty decent job of playing that physical game in that second period to limit those guys.
Well, one of the things we do here on the front line after 2 periods is recap how our players to watch have done through the first 40 minutes. So let's take a look at our players to watch as they were brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA.
Owen Beck for the Peterborough Petes, a goal and an assist in the stat category, but only 5 for 15 on face-offs tonight for the Petes. Meanwhile, Justin Ertel for the North Bay Battalion, not on the scoreboard as per se, but does have 1 fighting major in that first period. First game back after 8 weeks off. I think he's looked just like he hasn't missed a beat. He's been physically involved in the play, rang one off the crossbar in that first period, but not recording any important stats, goals, or assists. Back, though, 2 points.
Yeah, that's one difference between these two. Ertel's not always a point-scoring guy, but we've seen a couple of really good looks from him. We mentioned that one off the crossbar in the first period, and at least one good look down at this end here in the second. And Beck, he's the guy we know coming from Mississauga. We've seen him quite a bit in North Bay and doing as advertised tonight.
Okay, Ben Long, it looks like you're anxiously waiting to jump on here. Thoughts of how you thought the Battalion came out in that second period?
So, yeah, that second period, I felt like they actually started off pretty slow in it. I think the Petes kind of had a little bit of a jump on them coming out of it, but they worked their way back into the game and got themselves a lead. They've since lost that lead, but going into the third period tied as opposed to going into the second one down, they won the period. And I think they'll just build off that. But we also saw there, when they show up and decide they're going to play the way that they usually play, they could skate with anyone in this league. That first line for the Peterborough Petes is probably one of the most talented lines in the OHL this year. And when North Bay's playing well, they're handling them with, I don't know if I'd say with ease, but they're handling them well.
Definitely so, and I think that's one of the big parts that we have to see the Battalion do down this stretch is get that chemistry between their lines to see if they can, how they match up in the playoffs. Trying to establish, are you going to go with that one defensive line and then have a defensive checking line versus two offensive lines? It's interesting to see how Ulan will manage the forwards down the stretch, but it's just like that. How can you handle a line like the Peterborough Petes have? They've given up goals, but they are still deadlocked and still have 20 minutes left to try and get a victory here.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to mention, Ben said it, the Battalion 8-0-2 when tied after 2 periods. So that bodes well for them heading into this third. But you mentioned those lines. Part of it for the Battalion, and I feel like we've said it for the last about month, still some guys missing from the lineup. Petrov out tonight. So your usual combinations don't always work, and we've seen them mixed around a little bit tonight, and hopefully they can find some guys that really gel nicely and get something going before we head into the playoffs here.
How important is it for the Battalion? Sure, they've won 6 straight. The last game, a 4-0 thumping over the London Knights, but to have some adversity like they do tonight, it's tied 3-3. They're not down, but they are not leading going into the third.
Yeah, they've definitely had some easy stretches over their schedule this year where they'll play teams that they can kind of roll over, and then if they don't show up, they lose the game. Where having come out of London, now playing the Petes, they have to show that, we're going to keep playing the game the way we're supposed to play it. We can't let one win be the end of what we do. We have to go through a second and play full 2 games in a row here, boys. This is, when you get to playoffs, you have to play that way. And this season, I don't know if we've necessarily seen them have that sort of inner drive to really get up and go every period. So I'm hoping we see that coming in the third here.
Well, and I think that's going to be a big thing that we need to see is that inner drive in this third period if they want to come away with a victory. Peterborough Petes are not backing down. They're trying to get that victory. They know how big it is, those 2 points, as they are currently tied for a 4th spot with the Mississauga Steelheads.
Yeah, and the Hamilton Bulldogs in that mix as well. Really kind of interesting to see the sort of groups in that OHL standings. You see Ottawa running away with it again as the Battalion slumped a little bit. But then Barrie, another team that loaded up at the deadline, putting on the push for that 3rd spot, even pushing the Battalion in 2nd. And then this kind of middle group, the Mississauga, Peterborough, Hamilton, fighting for that 4th spot. And interesting to see how that all shake out in the next 5-6 games for these teams and see who gets matched up with who, because it determines your second round matchup. If you finish 5 or 6, you may end up playing the Battalion in the second round.
Yeah, a lot could still happen down the stretch. Even though we don't have any out-of-town OHL hockey to talk about, the Great North U18 Midget League, or the Great North U18 League playoffs are going underway right now up in the Sault Ste. Marie. The U18 Trappers with a pair of games today picking up victories. A 6-0 defeat this morning over the U16 Nickel Capitals, and then a 7-2 victory this afternoon against the New Lisker Cubs. So the U18 Trappers kick off the playoffs with a pair of wins today in those playoffs.
Yeah, and we've just from watching them this year, we've seen a few players out there for the Trappers that we could be watching in the OHL next year. Certainly we'll see a few of them in the NOJHL. But I think there's a couple that may have a chance at cracking the OHL if they make the right steps this summer, take the right progressions. We might see some of them playing at this level.
Well, one of those stars today for the Trappers was goaltender Michael McIver, getting the victories today. He got the start in both games for the U18 Trappers, so he is, as we know, a prospect of this North Bay Trapper team. He has seen 2 games with the Battalion this year.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see how goaltending shakes out. There was a lot of talk around the team about, obviously McIver was going to step in and be the backup goalie next year, assuming Dom comes back. but Charlie Robertson's decided to say, oh, hold up, guys, here, maybe I can make a push for this too.
Yeah, an interesting controversy will be happening in the offseason around goaltending as to see who will return to the North Bay Battalion next year for the goaltending tandem. The front line will not be off for the next couple days. You can catch the Powassan Voodoos here on the Frontline YouTube channel as they will be in Powassan tomorrow night as the Sudbury Cubs come to town, the top team out of the Western Conference in town to take on the Powassan Voodoos. Start time from the Sportsplex is 7 p.m. And then again on Saturday night, the Espanola Paper Kings come into town to take on the Voodoos, as that will be another 7 o'clock puck draw from the Sportsplex on Saturday evening. You can catch all of that action here on the Frontline YouTube channel, just like the final 20 minutes here from tonight's game. As after these messages, Courtney Kenny will rejoin Lyndon Holtkamp for all of the call of the third period, as it's 3-3 here, as it's Pete's Battalion on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens. Man, if people can see what we do before the cameras come back to us, they probably would stop watching the broadcast in a hurry. If I'm not enough to turn you off of this broadcast, trust me, my dance moves are too. I'm Courtney Kenny, pleased to be joined by Lyndon Holtkamp for this third period. Of course, Ben Long, our intrepid producer, and Derek Lindemann between the benches as we're back underway for what might not be this final frame of this game. With 20 minutes left, we're all tied at 3 between the Peterborough Petes and the North Bay Battalion. The Petes in their white and maroon are going left to right. The Battalion in their home greens are going right to left as we get a quick offside call here. Just 14 seconds into the period as the Petes were trying to gain the Battalion zone.
Yeah, a little delayed offside there. You said it, Courtney. If only people knew what happened when the cameras weren't on.
Yeah.
We have fun here at the front line.
We try to anyways. McCoy throws the puck in. It's off of Divinchendis' chest and falls down in front of him as he almost falls into his net. Fixes it though. Christopoulos with possession gets it up to Arnsby. And he tries to get it to Tarasevic, who can't get past his own bench. Beck gets run into by Christopoulos. Beck with a goal here in this one for the Petes. And now it's Hislop with the puck behind his own net. Hislop up to Tarasevic. Tarasevic over to Zito. Zito gains the Pete's zone. Stick handling his way through a bunch of players. Can't get a shot away though. But McDonald comes in for support. Throws the puck cross ice. And it goes to Bloom. Bloom throws it back to the point for Nelson. Quick shot on net. Misses. but you could hear it hit the end boards with a big thud. Lucan to Nelson. Nelson in for Bloom, back for Nelson. Cross ice for Lucan. Lucan back to the point for Nelson. Nelson with the shot, hit the end kick plate as well. Bloom tried to get the rebound chance off that kick plate, but now it's out to the neutral zone, and the Petes throw the puck into the Battalion zone with Lucan chasing after it with Avon. Lucan gains some zone, gives it across behind the net to Nelson, back to Bloom. He leaves it for Zito, and now Bloom falls and blows a tire when no one was around him, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Winslow back over for Bruskowski, over to Bloom. Bloom with a quick chance in front. Tried to get it to Zito. Zito stopped it up and couldn't get a shot away, even though he had no one between him and the goaltender. Stillman into the Battalion zone. Goes cross ice. Othman with the puck. Takes a sharp angle shot, and that's well over the net. Now Govero keeps it in. Takes another chance. And DiVincentis, like a good back catcher, just puts the glove up and stops that one.
You're getting into the baseball season, eh?
It's that time, the World Baseball Classic on. I think it's one of the most overrated tournaments of the year. You'll hear more about that on next week's 3-2 Count podcast with the front line.
There you go.
But yeah, baseball season right around the corner. Big fan. Baseball, and I always have to apologize to hockey, and that's the Canadian in me. Baseball is my favorite sport, so I'm pretty pumped.
Wow.
Jackson to Wakely. It's back to Ertl. Ertl with the shot, couldn't get that one through traffic. And they throw it in for Winslow. Winslow throws the puck up the ice to Jackson, back to Winslow. And Ertl gets it up quickly to Wakely. He almost had a prime chance to go in all alone as Govero and Zanetti ran into each other. Almost fell, but both of them stayed up. Beck now into the Battalion zone, takes the shot. DiVincentis with the save, and like I said, I always have to apologize to hockey because I'm always around a hockey rink in the winter. Love baseball. I get so excited when I head down the road down to Toronto to take in a Jays game. So good.
I can't believe you just said that. Baseball over hockey. Wow.
Yeah.
But,
it's just how it is.
Bringing it back in Memorial Gardens here. I think they made the ice extra slippery. We've seen a few guys almost fall. Two Pete's defensemen colliding there.
Yeah, it's been a weird period. Sloppy on the skating side of things, which isn't something you say at this high of a level. Arnsby with the puck in. There's Hislop blowing a tire as well. Gave it away to Hayes, but no harm, no foul as of yet. Hayes behind the net, back out to the point. It's McCoy. McCoy throws it on net. That one's blocked by Van Steensel. And now Hislop takes his man down. And Arnsby comes in and grabs the loose puck. Arnsby into the Pete zone. Couldn't get much deeper into it. And now a big hit on Christopoulos, but he bounces back up. And it's to Hislop. Hislop flips the puck in for Tarasevic, and he'll chase after it. Tarasevic avoiding a check in the near side corner, but lost the puck to Robertson. And now Robertson through the neutral zone. Robertson quickly up, a good chance there by the Petes, turned aside by DiVincentis, and he blocks that one down, getting the whistle call there.
Yeah, good block by DiVincentis, and Paul Christopoulos getting run over there on the wings. But something I've noticed a lot this game is, I don't know if it's Paul Christopoulos or Alex Christopoulos out there, because he seems to be playing up front a lot. Obviously, Alex Christopoulos, the brother, playing with Windsor. But, yeah, Paul jumping up into the rush a few times here tonight.
Yeah, the one nice thing about that trade to Windsor is when you see them behind the scenes, you know it's Paul, and you're not like sitting there being like, hey, you, as Ertl throws the puck in and stopped by Simpson. Because there's a few times where, like, they say hey to you, and you'd be like, hey, guys.
Yeah, are they twins? I don't want to say it.
100%.
Yeah,
they're identical twins.
I'd assume so, but
they're identical, and although Paul now has a mustache going on.
There you go. You need something to keep them apart.
Well, one wears a red jersey, the other one wears a green jersey now. So maybe they'll meet in the OHL finals. We don't know. That would be something. Lockhart into the zone, tried to throw that one on net for Robertson. He couldn't get a stick on it. And now the puck sent down to the Pete zone. Will it have enough legs for icing? It does. So the Petes will get an offensive zone draw here with 15:48 left in this third period.
Just a little bit messy here in the early stages of this third period. We mentioned the guys falling all over the ice. couple of big hits, but just, the pass is not quite connecting. Like that one there, the outlet just missing a guy and going on the length of the ice.
We'll have to see if that plays a factor as the period goes on. The Battalion flip the puck down the ice again. Zanetti will get to that one before it has a chance to go for icing. Leaves it for Govro. Back up for Zanetti. Zanetti cross ice for Stillman. Stillman with a chance here. Takes a shot. Kicked away by DiVincentis out front for Bloom. Bloom carries the puck to the red line. Flips it in as he takes a hit from Stillman. And now Govro leaves the puck behind his net for Zanetti. Zanetti up ice for Govro. Govro cross to Mealy. And he just flips that one in cross zone into the Battalion end. Bruskowski leaves it for Winslow. McDonald up to Zito. Zito with a quick pass up to the end board. So Bloom takes the shot. And it never really settled down, so Bloom just sent that one over Simpson's net. As the Battalion, we've seen that play multiple times here by the troops last season in this. McCoy takes a shot. Knocked aside by DiVincentis. And now Zito with it. Zito to Van Steensel. Cross ice to Winslow. Winslow looking for Zito. Missed his outlet pass. And that puck goes down into the Pete zone with no Battalion player there. So we'll get icing here with 14:28 to go.
Yeah, the Battalion trying that infamous or famous, depending on who you're cheering for, play off the end boards. You mentioned we're seeing it a lot last year and a few times this year. And it almost working out perfectly, coming right to the stick of Bloom. But he just can't quite get that shot off cleanly.
Zito wins the draw back to Winslow. Winslow up for Van Steensel. And Van Steensel gets it back to White. White throws the puck back into the Battalion zone. Beck's going to get to that one first. Takes a hit from Bruskowski. And now Paget with it. Paget throws it back behind the Battalion net. Arnsby's going to get to that and try to clear it. He couldn't. And Paget battling with Arnsby now. Gets it to Tarasevic. Tarasevic. Up ice to Winslow. Winslow over to Van Steensel. Van Steensel trying to find his captain. Hey, now, I see why the Battalion would have an issue with that. Simpson out to play the icing, although Darren Long no, he's going to be as stubborn as he can be.
Yeah.
And he looked at first like he was saying, my bad. But no, it's going to be an icing call against the Battalion. And he's arguing with the Battalion players. Simpson came out and played the puck.
Yeah,
that negates the icing.
I wonder if his thinking is that he called it the no touch
I don't know.
The face-off dot. But still, Simpson was out to play it almost as they got there.
Yeah.
So you'd think that would negate it, but...
Avon with the... Could you imagine how incensed the Battalion bench would have been if the Petes had scored off the face-off?
Oh, yeah. That would be...
Or how certain play-by-play announcers incensed they would be if the Petes scored off a face-off on that one?
Our media kit here on the desk would not be able to survive that, I
don't
think.
They're thankfully, in the 2 years I've been doing play-by-play, there hasn't been many losses here for the Battalion, so there hasn't been many papers ripped. But they definitely feel the wrath of 2K here when when the Battalion don't come out on top. So my game sheet right now isn't safe. It's 3-3 with 13 and a half minutes left here. Christopoulos off the draw, gets it up to Jackson. Jackson cross ice for Wakely. It was just out of his reach, and he just gets the puck from the Pete's bench and throws it back into the Pete's zone. Left in for Jackson. In tight now with Ertl on the backhand chance, turned aside by Simpson. Wakely back to Hislop. Hislop cross ice in the slot for Jackson. Ertl on the doorstep. Couldn't get that one to go as he had prime positioning on that one, and Simpson just beat him on that. Battalion looking dangerous on that last shift. Now it's Othman in the Battalion zone to Stillman. Takes a shot off a body and bounces back out. Jackson just out of gas, couldn't get the pass up ice from Bloom. Govro with it. Going cross ice now to Christopoulos. Christopoulos in behind his own net. Looks up ice. Skates it slowly And he gets it to McDonald. McDonald with a goal already this evening. Can't get his shot to get in on net. Now Nelson skates the puck in. Takes a chance. Backhand. Topped by Simpson. There's a Pete's helmet out front of the net as well. It's just going all over the place. Now Zito battling for possession. Gets it to McDonald, who takes a hard hit. Or Bloom. And now it's back to the point for Nelson. Another chance there, goes wide. McDonald behind the net. 12 minutes remain here in this period. Back to Lucan. Lucan with some space. Goes cross ice. And Bloom was looking for the pass in front. And that's one thing, if I could say anything about Josh Bloom that you know is coming, he likes to pass the puck. He was in a prime shooting place right. Maybe he fanned on it, but he was in a prime shooting position right there to take the shot and opted for the pass instead.
Yeah, definitely one you want to see a shot from. As they just show the replay here, I was going to talk about it. Kyle McDonald with the Eric Lindros holding one guy off with one arm, trying to shoot with the other arm.
He's something else.
He's a big boy. Like, just
you would go
size.
with Jen's legend, Eric Lindros.
It shows sometimes.
It does. If we're talking about nice jerseys, the Gens have nice jerseys. I like those reds.
Oh, yeah.
Arnsby in his own zone. Up the ice quickly to Van Steensel. Van Steensel to Tarasevic. Tarasevic throws the puck in deep. And Arnsby tried to pick it up, fell down. And now it's back to the blue line for Hislop. Doing his best shortstop impression. Keeps the puck in. Now Van Steensel with a shot, that bit of a knuckle puck. Missed the net. Arnsby throws his weight around to Beck. And now Christopoulos with it. Looking for Arnsby. Arnsby to Van Steensel, tried to get a one-touch pass back to Arnsby, and that one was thwarted by the Petes. Peterborough to Hayes. That one's going to go down the ice. No icing there, or there will be icing.
And DiVincentis played it, so...
Are they going to give it... I guess it's kind of like...
I think they called the no touch first.
Yeah.
And the goalie, in that case, DiVincentis just happened to cover it up as the no touch went.
I mean, I was going to say, are we going to go tit for tat here?
But, yeah, maybe a little bit of that, too, that just give one back. But the physicality in this game has really stepped up in this third period. A few gigantic hits on both sides of the puck.
Winslow to the slot for Jackson. Jackson with the shot turned aside by Simpson, and both these teams are pretty even on the shot clock as well. 34-31 in favor of the Battalion. So both goaltenders, like we said, two of the top goaltenders in the league, doing their jobs here this evening.
If this becomes a playoff series, that'll be fun to watch. Both teams playing at just a really high caliber.
And the thing that's wild about it is it could in the first round. I mean, the Sudbury Wolves are still within 6 points of the Petes. And it would be the Battalion and the Wolves right now if the season was to end. Jackson in the neutral zone. Gains the Pete zone. Skates it in. Took a shot. And now Ertl with a chance. And his puck goes well high and over the net. But just to give you a quick summary, the Petes are in fourth with 70 points. Hamilton was 70 as well. Mississauga was 66 and Sudbury was 64. Oshawa holds the final playoff spot right now with 54 points. Kingston has 53, but does have a game in hand on Kingston. So lots of movement can still happen. The top teams obviously locked in. Ottawa at 99, Battalion 89, and Barrie at 85. And then the Petes are 15 points behind the Colts. So pretty interesting there. But again, the everything between 4 and 7 is we're going to get an offside call here. Really between 4 and 7. Lots of movement there still possible.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I still like I still don't know if I like Sudbury. Sudbury and Mississauga could probably catch each other, but I think Mississauga is just far enough outside of that Hamilton-Peterborough that they'll probably end up 4 or 5. 4 points back right now.
It could happen.
I don't know who
it's not out of the realm of
possibility.
possibility.
If they play each other,
yeah.
right? Who knows? But it'll probably be a second round matchup if we see the Petes. I'm liking Sudbury or Mississauga for North Bay, finishing in that 2 spot.
I'm hoping it's Sudbury. That'd be a
fantastic series between those two teams.
Not so bad on the kilometers on the car.
Yeah.
Zito kicks the puck into Bloom. Back to Nelson. In for Bloom. Bloom tries to walk it in around the wall. Out front quickly. Good chance there by McDonald. Turned aside by Simpson as McDonald had him in tight. Stillman Loses it to McDonald briefly. And now the Petes get the puck down the ice to Othman. Othman. Cross ice to Govro. Govro gains the red line and throws it in. But that was off the glass and into the netting behind the at the end there. So that'll take us to our mid-period break. So 2 straight games with the Battalion breaking the 3,000 mark as well, up to 3,036. But we'll take a quick break here on the Frontline Game Day broadcast. We'll hear from Derek Lindemann on the other side.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And we welcome you back to the Frontline Game Day broadcast. Of course, our Dave's Automotive 3 stars of the game coming up after the game as well. But we'll hear from Derek now. As Derek, tight game in this one, literally shots-wise, goal-wise. These two teams battling it out pretty good.
Yeah, it really has that feel down here that they don't want to give away that extra point here in regulation. Both teams are trying to settle in and capitalize on turnovers. Battalion have kind of picked up the offensive zone time here in the later half of this first part of the period, and they've got to continue to push. This is an important game for both teams, and getting that extra point with a victory tonight, very important here tonight.
Derek, I wonder if you got an explanation on Darren Long's call on the icing as to why it still went down to the Battalion zone. At first it looked like he was saying, my bad, but then the offensive zone draw still went to the Petes.
What he was saying is that he got the icing call before the goaltender made the move to play the puck.
Christopoulos with a quick shot. Thank you, Derek. We'll not hear from you for the rest of the game. Actually, we'll get some social media content with Derek up after the game, as Christopoulos had a good chance there. And now the puck back into the Pete zone, but Peterborough has possession. Peterborough throws the puck as Hayes with a big tip there, nearly took out our guest star of the week on the Frontline podcast, Mackenzie Campbell, who apparently has stars in his eyes after seeing our new studio setup too, so I'll take that.
Yeah, the fresh setup for the podcast. I always like the equipment managers on teams because they're one of the group,
Yep.
right? So they're always around the team and they kind of know all the ins and outs, but you don't always hear from them. So interesting podcast this week.
Yeah, Macker's a great guest. We had him on last year where he gave us more of the ins and outs of his job. As Peterborough with possession in the Battalion zone. Looking to keep the line. Can't for very long as Van Steensel throws the puck down the ice. But this one was a little bit better because the last time I did it, I was in New Liskeard in a hotel room on terrible Wi-Fi. So, plus it's a little bit better doing things in person than on Zoom. Thank you, Zoom, for everything over the last few years, but in person, so much better. Van Steensel flips the puck into the Pete zone. Jackson chasing after it. Battling it out with White now. And now White gains the Battalion zone before he's taken into the boards by Ertl. And now Peterborough with possession in the Battalion zone. Wakely tried to line up a hit on Robertson. He couldn't get that hit. And the shot goes wide of DiVincentis' net. 8 minutes remaining here in the third period. All knotted up at 3. Out front. Big save there by DiVincentis. As that's going to be Mayer who looks skyward after that chance there.
Yeah, Mayer a little disappointed with that one as he had some space in front of DiVincentis. But as the story's been all game, 2 top-notch goaltenders, and DiVincentis handles it with ease.
Face-off will be coming on the far side of the broadcast of DiVincentis' crease. McDonald was battling it out for the face-off, but deemed not fair enough, so we'll get another shot here. Stillman in for the Petes, and the Battalion win the draw, but do they gain possession? Nelson with it, out of his zone, so the answer to that is yes. And now it's Govro with the puck. Cross ice as a stick explodes there by Zanetti. And now the Battalion looking to capitalize on the broken stick. Zito. Zanetti got his stick up in the face, but he kind of grabbed it and held it there too for a moment. Zito now behind, out to McDonald with his goal! A upgraded to a double Big Mac. Kyle McDonald puts the Battalion up 4-3.
Kyle McDonald. I feel like I already said this tonight, but what a shot from Kyle McDonald. Just taking advantage of the broken stick a little bit, I think, and finding the guy without a stick, getting the pass to him from behind the net, and just wires it all past Simpson. The Battalion now leads 4-3, 7.5 minutes to go in this game.
McDonald picks up his 33rd goal of the year. I mean, he technically scored his 34th, but we know why that one was called off. That one was a very easy goal to be called off. As the puck down into the Battalion zone, his lob up to Tarasevic. You just got the vibe from McDonald that he wasn't done at one. Tarasevic in for Arnsby. Arnsby with some space. Leaves it for Hislop. Hislop back out front for Arnsby. Arnsby over to Christopoulos with the shot. And that one's off a foot and out of play. 7:08 remaining in this third period. 4-3 Battalion lead on that Kyle McDonald double Big Mac goal.
Now, the only thing from the Battalion is they haven't responded too well after their other goals. The key for the
swear to God, if they score here, you're off the broadcast so fast.
Oh, yeah. No, knocking on the wood here, but the Battalion need to come out strong for these last 7 minutes and really stick it to the Petes.
The Petes are going to be coming hard, as you know. Robertson out front. Here's a chance for Peterborough as DiVincentis got a glove on that one, but not enough to keep it under him. But the Battalion were able to recover. With possession, DiVincentis' stick in his blue paint. He picks it back up. Jackson gets it to Ertl. Back to Kyle Jackson, and the puck hits a Pete's player and goes out of play. And I was going to turn to you on that one and just stare daggers at you.
I felt that one coming down. I was like, oh boy, here they go. Just right after I say it. But DiVincentis making a couple of spectacular stops on that one. Losing his stick. I thought the net came off for a second, but I think it just popped up as a Battalion came crashing in.
Yeah, the Battalion doing all they can to keep that one out of the net. White with it. Throws the puck up, and it's knocked into the Battalion zone. DiVincentis touches the puck, leaves it for Lucan. Again, Lucan with some sneaky good moves this year, and he's very deadly in the shootout, according to Dallin Wakely and Mackenzie Campbell. We haven't seen him take a shootout attempt, I don't think. Although I can't remember the last time we saw a shootout here on home ice.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many this year from this Battalion team.
Well, they've got one loss in the shootout, so that should just tell you right there. It's not a regular occurrence. That's a good stick there by Christopoulos, doing his best Vladdy Guerrero impression. Bats that one out. Now Zito down into the Pete zone, throws the puck in deep for McDonald. McDonald battling with a couple of Petes. That's going to be Stillman who got to that one and threw it up and out of the zone to McDonald. McDonald walks into the zone, takes a shot. Simpson gets that one right in the logo and covers that one up. With 5:36 remaining in the third period, Battalion still hold on for the 4-3 lead.
I thought that might go for offside. Arnsby came real close there. But
yeah, I thought so too, actually.
He sticking that leg out, I guess. But another offensive zone draw for the Battalion here. Good thing to see, up by one.
Van Steensel in for the draw, gets it to Wakely. Wakely just threw the puck out front of the net and then couldn't get a shot away, as now Arnsby has it in the far side corner, battling it out. Scrum ensues. Arnsby comes away with it, gets it back to Van Steensel, quickly to the point for Hislop. Hislop into the slot for Van Steensel. Couldn't get a shot away. Now Page has possession behind his net. Page to Govro. Govro gets the puck up quickly to Beck. We'll see a steady diet of these guys, I'm sure, as the game continues. Wakely into the Pete zone, takes the shot. Simpson with the save. And now the puck for McCoy in the corner. Leaves it for Page to Zanetti. Giveaway there by the Battalion, or to the Battalion, but Jackson couldn't make anything happen with it. And now it's up ice quickly for Beck. Beck can't get by Hislop. Hislop tries to throw the puck around him, and now Beck does have the puck. skates the puck in, takes a chance there. DiVincentis stops that one as Beck walked that one. He did have a chance with Avon on the far side, but he was being held up real tight by Christopoulos. And then the man they call the Dominator, the new Dominator anyways, as Dominic Hasek will always be the OG, making a big save there on Owen Beck.
Bit of a natural nickname for a goaltender, I think, when your name's Dominic.
I mean, right?
And but yeah, Avon getting tied up there for the Petes and letting DiVincentis do his work.
Armani couldn't get the puck out of the zone. Now the Petes have possession. Lockhart with the shot, stopped by DiVincentis, and he hops on it quickly as there was daylight there, and the rebound sat right in front of him, but he was able to pounce on it. And one of the things is he has the tiger eyes on the back of his helmet, and he has the tiger claw marks on his pads, which is what it is. I'd say his reflexes are probably just as quick.
I would say so, especially on that play. Getting it the first stop, and like you said, just the puck just kind of spinning in front of him for a second before he jumped on it, before the Petes could even get there.
Robertson in for the draw for the Petes on the near side of DiVincentis' net. Zito wins it back though, and Bruskowski with the puck. Bruskowski gains the red line and throws the puck into the Petes zone. And that's going to be knocked back out by Lockhart. Lockhart gets the puck over the neutral zone. Now McDonald in against White. McDonald with the shot. And Simpson may have just got a piece of that one. Zito tries to feed it out front for McDonald, but the puck just rolled over his stick. And now it's White with possession behind his net to Lockhart. Lockhart up for Avon. Good stick there by Bruskowski, stops that chance. And the only thing that went into the net was Avon. White in the neutral zone. Had to wait for Avon to get out of the zone, but he does gain the Battalion zone, throws that puck in deep for Robertson. And now Bruskowski takes his man to the ice, battling now, but Stillman comes in for possession to White. White with a good weight. Moves in, looks to throw the puck out front. He does. Big save there by DiVincentis. And now the Battalion try to clear, but can't, as now Govro's battling with McDonald. Zito gets to it. All right, the Battalion bench waits up and just flips the puck down to the Pete's zone. And that's going to be McCoy who gloved that one out of the air. McCoy threw the puck into the Battalion zone. DiVincentis out to play it, and the puck comes back to the neutral zone. We'll keep an eye on Simpson for you as we're down to 2:45 here in this period. Tarasevic spins and throws the puck to Simpson, who has to play the puck behind his net. But McCoy comes and plays that one. McCoy up ice to Beck. Beck knocked off the puck, and Christopoulos gets it and sends it right back into the Pete zone. Simpson not given a chance to leave his net as of yet. The Troops up to 40 shots. Pete's to 36. 4-3 Battalion lead. Hayes into the Battalion zone. Simpson being told to hold by the bench. As now Hayes is knocked to the ice and over to Tarasevic. Tarasevic through the neutral zone, gains the red line. Just flips it in on net. Simpson knocks that one aside. 2 minutes remain. 4-3 Battalion lead. Sent into the Troops zone. DiVincentis out to play it as icing waved off. Simpson still being told to hold by the coach. Ertl with possession. Gets the puck down to the red line. White stops that one from going too far. And now Zanetti throws that one back to the Battalion. But Ertl gets to it, gives it to McDonald. McDonald loses that one. And now it's knocked back out by the Petes. But Jackson keeps it in, throws that one blindly on net. McDonald goes to regain his stick behind the net. And White goes with it, still being told to hold with 1:20 remaining. Now he's being told to come as we got the extra attacker on the ice for the Petes. The Battalion get to it and just flip it up and out, but it's going to hit the top of the Jumbotron here at North Bay Memorial Gardens. And we're going to get a stoppage here with 1:14, but the faceoff will come back into the Battalion zone.
You got to think if you're the Peterborough Petes and the caliber of the Battalion you're facing, that there's going to be, if you pull the goalie, you're going to give up a goal. Like, you got to think that that's on your mind.
Yeah.
Because the Battalion, the Petes have not really been able to set anything up, as the Petes call a timeout here.
No, it's been a tough slog here for the Petes the last few minutes trying to gain the Battalion zone. And the Battalion have done a really good job of keeping it so that way the Petes can't get that extra attacker on the ice. But now the Petes will have a chance to make a set play off the draw as they do have the extra attacker here in the Battalion zone with Simpson on the bench.
Yeah, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but something says the Petes haven't been winning a lot of faceoffs tonight. I know Derek and I mentioned Owen Beck's stats, only 5 for 15, I believe, through 2 periods.
This is a guy who played in the NHL at some point this year.
A guy you'd think might, I don't know how he is in the faceoff circle, clearly not having his best night tonight.
Yeah.
But, so if you're the Petes, yeah, you can draw up the set play, but you got to win the faceoff first.
A minute 14 here remaining with Robertson out to take the draw. Battalion have a 4-3 lead. Post-game show coming up with Lyndon Hochkamp after this one. When that happens, we do not know. As this one back to Othman. Othman gets it back to the point. Quickly cross ice for Othman. Othman fake shot. Mayer just throws the puck in deep. And now Hayes has it. And now the net knocked off. It's mooring. So we'll get a whistle here. And Divincent is pleading his case that, hey, I was just pushing off the net. And that's why I came off.
Yeah, there's I believe it was Robertson in front as well. There's a couple Petes hanging around there. So I'm guessing that may have been part of it, Divincent is trying to look past him, get an angle on it.
Whistle, or face-off being swapped in as Beck comes in now for the face-off as Robertson's shown the gate. And now the Petes try to get possession, but the Battalion are able to get the puck down the ice. Van Steensel in a foot race with Robertson. As we're into the final minute here, Robertson and Van Steensel battle in the corner. The Petes come away with it, and with some speed, that's Othman up to Beck. Beck into the Battalion zone to Othman. Othman fanned on his shot, but he gets his pass back to the point for Mayer. In deep for Robertson. Back to Mayer with a quick shot. That one's tipped wide of the net. Battalion scrum in the corner on the far side. 28 seconds remain here in this game. Battalion have a 4-3 lead. And still a scrum in the far corner as the Petes throw the puck up and out of the zone. As now that'll come to Tarasevic. Tarasevic over to Van Steensel. And the pass here as Van Steensel keeps it in. Puts the icing on the cake here with the Battalion getting an empty net goal with 10.9 seconds left on the clock. It's the man they call Ovi, number 16, Van Steensel.
Yeah, Van Steensel with the empty netter there. On the Petes almost got it back with making a diving play, but unfortunately just tapping it over to, I believe it was Tarasevic on that other wing, who on a 2-on-1 with an empty net, there's not much you can do as the Petes lone defenseman.
That was Van Steensel's 9th of the season. And Tarasevic nearly gave it back to the Petes too with the pass just out of Van Steensel's wheelhouse, but he was able to get in and not do a Patrick Stefan on the back end and able to get the puck buried. So 8 seconds left. Cam Govro is just going to hold on to the puck here as he's going to gain the red line and shoot it in on Divinchentis, who's just going to put the puck down. And the Battalion are going to skate away with their 7th victory in a row as they pick up an ever important 2 more points here in their quest for Central Division supremacy, especially after the Colts played last night and picked up a point in the shootout loss. Lyndon, at times it was very much in doubt in this one, but the Battalion got out a 5-3 victory.
At times it was, but key for the Battalion heading into the playoffs is to be able to come back from that sort of lazy first period, maintain their almost perfect record in regulation after scoring the first goal and tied after 2 periods.
Yeah,
so
great stats for sure for the troops.
The Battalion, not quite the cruise we're used to seeing, but able to come away with the win here tonight.
Well, we'll be back in action here as Govro talking to Winslow and Arnsby and Christopoulos, taking a picture as well, which is funny to me that Arnsby's in there considering they threw down at training camp in 2021. But, a lot of these guys, big fans of Cam Govro, even though he threw his weight around. You know what? Got to say I'm a big fan of Cam Govro, too. As real happy for him, to see that he's playing on that top line and getting some good minutes here. He was figured to be the 7th star defenseman for the Troops last year, and ended up playing a big role in the Troops as they went on to be one of the top 4 teams. As I was mentioning, though, the front line will be back in action tomorrow night in Powassan as the Voodoos host the Greater Sudbury Cubs, their second last home game on the season coming up, and then they play their last game on Saturday. But I'll have the call for you along with Derek Lindemann from that one. He's Lyndon Hochkamp, Ben Long as well. Derek Lindemann down between the benches. I'm Courtney Kenny, and as always, keep your eye on the front line.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And welcome back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens for our post-game show with our 3 stars brought to you by Dave's Automotive. But first to the scoring summary. The teams entered the third period deadlocked at 3, and it was Kyle McDonald with the game-winning goal at 12:26 of that third period, with assists to Josh Bloom and Pasquale Zito. And then finally, with only 10 seconds left in the game, Owen Van Steensel scores the empty netter to put the game away for the Battalion. No penalties in that third period as the teams kept it clean. And in a thrilling fashion, the Battalion take a victory here over the Petes, getting that important 2 points over as the Barrie Colts got away with one in a shootout yesterday. The Battalion elsewhere on the front line, tomorrow night at the Powassan Sportsplex and on the YouTube channel here on the front line, you'll see the Voodoos play the Greater Sudbury Cubs. Saturday night, also at 7 o'clock, the Voodoos take on the Espanola Paper Kings, and then we'll be back here for Battalion action Sunday at 2 o'clock as the Sudbury Wolves come to visit, with the Battalion having only 4 games left on their schedule.
So tonight's 3 stars that we're at now, I'm guessing they haven't come up online yet?
Yep.
We had Owen Beck at the 3rd star from, I was going to say Mississauga, but no, not Mississauga or Peterborough Petes.
Yeah, Peterborough now.
And then we had Kyle Jackson and Kyle McDonald as the 1st and 2nd star. I forget which order.
Yeah, Makes sense. Beck with one of our players to watch tonight with a couple of points. Thank you, Ben Long, as we filling me in on that one as we have some technical difficulties here. And with that thrilling game and those 3 stars, I'm Lyndon Hokamp signing off here from North Bay Memorial Gardens. From Ben Long, from Derek Lindemann, and Courtney Kenny, have a good night.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.